go to my quiet place.
Hey, where are the white women at?
Oh, what's going on, everybody? It's Topicless Tuesday. It's after 9:15, so we're on time. With me as always.
Totally.
Death Metal Hero. Yeah.
What's up? What's up?
Yeah. Well, you know what? We're humans. We're humans.
Mm-hmm.
We have things that keep us from being punctual. Sometimes it's the necessity of putting coals in the fire, so to speak.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
You know, gotta feed the machine. Gotta keep rolling. Mm-hmm.
That's right. That's right.
Mm-hmm.
We are the rage of the machines.
Legitimate as opposed to, you know, the fake rage against the machine.
I liked them back in the day.
Yeah. Yeah,
They're
they were popular.
Well, one song wonders in a way because every song is almost the same. But, you know, listening to a whole Rage album is like listening to one, like, 53-minute song. It's...
Yeah. Well,
so
and also, Zach De La Roche is not what he claims to be. He's a rich kid communist.
Yeah, he's a rich kid. But either which way, though, it's just like it's... I could do a Rage song here and there, and I'm fine with it. I'm good. You know,
yeah, totally.
Back to back, I'm like, all right, I need something to break up the 14-minute song I just listened to.
Yeah,
you
I like Audio Slave a lot better. Chris Cornell's much better.
I like Soundgarden so much that I was just bummed about Audio Slave. You know, I mean, it's good. It's a good band, but I'm like, I like Soundgarden.
Soundgarden is infinitely better.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, infinitely. Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, Chris Cornell. Yeah, well, you know, leaps and bounds better than Zach, without a doubt. But totally different styles, so it's almost incomparable. So what's going on, man? How you doing? How was your weekend?
I'm doing good, man. I'm doing good. Weekend it was fantastic. You know, had a meeting on Saturday, and then was on with Pete on Saturday night, talking about esoteric storytelling and whatnot. And then Sunday, I drove up to come see my lady love.
Nice. I said that was nice.
Not true. Did you not see it in the chat?
What's not in the chat? What's wrong with my chat?
Apparently my freaking chats are not going through. I don't know. That is very strange.
Your chats? No, I don't see you in. I don't see you in there. Yeah. Oh wait, there you are.
Strange.
I see you right there. Death Metal Hero. With the horns and stuff at Haldir.
Huh. I sent something to Feline long before that, and it did not pop in.
That's not in there. The first person in here. We'll go through the chat now. Actually, that you bring it up, but the first person was Creators Outlet.
That is really weird.
And then followed by Haldir, and then Feline. So there's Feline.
Yeah, I don't have a drink.
I don't have a drink. You could text her, but we do have some cilantro and some skulls. So
indeed,
cilantro and skulls to you, flyer. The flyer of felines that isn't the devil, because there's the devil flyer as well.
Right.
There's the feline. There's Ace. What's up? Everybody sign up for the Ace Volume 3. Dude, my
what's up, Ace?
Clicking is going
to see you, man.
slow. Clicking is going slow. That's weird.
Is
you got
fucking bizarre.
Ink spots up in here.
What's up, Ink?
Back from the grave, risen from the dead. Ink spots.
Back to sell more comic books. Clearly,
that's right. You got there's you. There's you.
Yeah, I said something to Feline before that. I mean, it's in there now, but it did not send earlier. That is fucking bizarre. It is odd. Billy says some of his chats were not going through in Krager's chat yesterday. YouTube is censoring cool, attractive people, I think. Yeah,
I don't think that's what it is, Billy. I don't think that. And welcome, by the way, Billy. I'm clicking it, but for some reason, it's maybe it's my magnifier that's making it go real slow to click. I don't know, but nice. Everybody hit the like and subscribe. Blah blah blah. YouTube.
All the fun YouTube stuff.
Blah 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 blah. YouTube. Yeah. I mean, I do appreciate it. You know, the channel grows or shrinks or does whatever. I mainly use it as a platform to show my wares. Whether I don't
basically.
Yeah,
Oh,
I'm not a
thank you, my
YouTuber.
love.
I mean, we're on YouTube, but I'm not really a YouTuber.
See,
That's not my goal.
That's love right there. She brought me a beer.
There you go. There you go. A nice cool lager.
Shinerbock.
Shinerbock lager.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, nice. Yeah, I caught the Saturday night thing. That was cool, man. I caught the tail end of it, but
yeah. Pete's always fun to talk to, man.
What did you hit him up, or did he hit you up, or was it an?
No, he hit me up. He's starting a new Saturday show, Saturday Supernatural stuff, and
cool.
yeah. So we had kind of touched on that the last time I was hanging out with him, and he hit me up and he was like, "Hey, I've got this new show. You wanna come hang out on this Saturday?" And I was like, "Sure." So it's what I did.
Nice.
It was a good time.
Cool.
Yeah, man, it was a good time. Pete's always fun to talk to, man. He's
yeah, dude.
I could sit and talk with him for hours. He's got a lot of interests that overlap with mine.
Well, he's one of the good ones. He's one of the good ones. He likes everything. He likes sci-fi. He likes the horror stuff. I mean, obviously because of the cryptids and stuff, but ufology. Folklore. He's into all of it, and comics, of course. So,
of course,
he's a smart cat. He's a good dude, and very very eloquently spoken individual. Like, he's very soft, and it's comforting.
Oh yeah, well, I mean, he knows what he's talking about too. He
does
done a bunch of research. And the reason why I'm as well versed in the stuff we were talking about as I am is a lot of the conversations Feline and I have had. We have conversations about that esoteric stuff all the time. So it was fun.
No, yeah, go ahead, keep going.
It's one of those things that she and I talk about all the time. So it's constantly in my head, and
shut up.
It's kind of in the forefront of my mind.
It's kind of stuff we used to talk about like late at night at Denny's. You know what I mean? What's up, Kevlar?
What's up, Kevlar?
Bar, like either after the bar or just going to Denny's, like at 1 a.m, sitting there drawing, and we just be talking about UFOs or universal type in-depth things that the theories of the universe and who we are and where we're going in this ocean of chaos, as one might say. What's up, Mike?
What's up, Mike?
See ya, dude. Welcome, everybody. U.S. Assassin, I think, is still up on my comic. There's a mod in the chat that could drop that link. That would be outstanding. Mike's a great dude. Great artist. Speaking of
Mr. McMahon.
Yeah, speaking of some comics, I did go to the shop. I did go to my local shop, my shoppy. Picked up a few things. One of these, I bought it because I just don't have. I had this cover, no, I can't find it, so I picked up the regular.
Right, not the gatefold.
Not the gatefold, because I have the gatefold signed. So
yeah,
but so I picked that up because it was in there. My cool, and then I got.
Too much coffee, man. Nice.
I got
ain't seen one of those in a long time.
I got 1, 4, and 5, I believe. So I just don't have 2 and 3. Or is it 1, 3, and 4? I can't remember. But yeah, so I got it. Three issues of Too Much Coffee, man. Fun stuff. Like very cartoony artwork. Fun stuff. I got a.
Oh, hey, Dawn. Nice.
Yeah, flipping through those books to get. Inkspots was asking, because you asked before about getting some Faust. Yeah. And I sent you some. Yeah, I sent you some, and then I told Ink recently, I'm like, my shop has some Faust. He's like, oh, cool, dude. So I picked some up for him, sent him some Faust. But in there, I'm like, you know what? I'll pick up a Dawn. I'm like, why not? I don't have that one. And then I picked up a beautiful copy of
Alpha Flight number one. Nice. Yeah. Congratulations, man. That's pretty cool.
Dude, I got these at a great price. Like, it's crazy how cheap I got these for.
New Mutants
number 1.
Right on, man.
Yeah. Picked up a few New Mutants, actually. Now,
that's awesome.
This is going to be available at my comic shop. Free comic book day, only outside my comic shop.
Oh, hey.
For free comic book day, as you can see there.
Oh, look at that.
issue pages 1 through 24 of the first book. So the first half of the first book. So you don't get the whole story, obviously, but if you pick, you can pick this up, and if you're new to this, absolute university in the area, you pick it up. The trade will come out eventually, so this might entice you to maybe, want to buy the, back to trade when it comes out. So, but I printed up very low print run of these, So,
which means they're going to be collectible, folks.
I guess. But if you're in Menor, Ohio, free comic book day, swing by the Great Lakes Mall, pick one up. Then I got this in, dude. Got this in today. This is crazy. Crazy good. I'm trying to see where the... Is that upside down? Upside down.
Oh, no. That's right side up.
Yeah.
Oh, awesome.
Dude,
Brush with Destiny.
Dude, crazy good.
Yeah, Gary's ridiculous, man. He is just an uber talent.
Like I flipped through this. I'm like, this is insane. I'm like, it's all like what 99% brushwork or something like that. It's crazy what he does.
The hatching and cross hatching he's able to get with
a brush.
Insane.
Look at.
Yeah, I mean it reminds me of Brian Boland.
Yeah, dude.
That's that level of like precise
control.
And
yeah, dude. He's got crazy control. I love this Vampirella.
Yeah,
it's dope. But
it was pretty incredible.
Yeah, dude. So I flipped through this. I'm like, dude, this guy's a monster. Like, how do you do that? I wish I had that kind of control.
Right?
I was flipping through my one of my short boxes. I gotta send these to the SHELBY.
Crypt. Nice.
I gotta send him to SHELBY so he can sign them for me. I was in Discord going through. But yeah, so I got those got some nice stuff at the LCS.
Heck yeah. That's awesome, man.
Great deal. So
I have not been to my LCS this year, actually.
Well, understandably so. I mean, like you said, he did switch out to a lot of manga, although Billy, I'm sure, would be ecstatic about the manga. But
yeah, he did. He's selling a lot more manga than he did before.
What's up, Angela?
Just haven't had the time.
Well, you're a busy man. You're working on the comic. You not only that, you're hanging out with Feline. You're hopping on streams. You're doing the grind. You're doing the thing.
Oh yeah.
So. It's hard to, and plus finances. You're helping your parents out, or your mom and your grandma. So
yeah, there's also that. There's not much on my pull list anymore. Like I severely cut down what I was getting, and I don't really see anything coming out in the shops that is grabbing my attention.
Well,
so
like I said, dude, most of it's all back issues. Back. Like I do like Detective Comics. The artwork in there is really good. I do like that. That's there's some nice stuff in that. And then Batman has Jimenez on it, where he's pretty good. But hey, there's Hocky. What's up, Hocky? Good to see you.
What's up, Hocky?
And Hocky, I will say, okay, we were in the Discord and we were getting into the long-winded debate with Hocky, Inc., Billy, and me. It's been a lifelong debate amongst every collector out there, almost, about what's more important in comics, the art or the story. And yes, you ideally want a balance of both. You want good story and good art. Yes, I'm not saying that. But Inkspots and I are in the side that the artwork is the main driving force of what keeps because it's a visual medium. Now,
yes.
Ink is heavier on, like, he tends to lean in the percentages in the artist's favor way further than what I do. I agree with a Billy where it's more like a 65, 35, 64, somewhere there. But, like, here's a good example of where story is more pivotal than art, because the art is not the most fantastic thing in Too Much Coffee, man. It's not like this is Jim Lee level stuff. So this is where the writing comes more into play, and he just likes to draw. Although the artwork is fun and cartoony, and I like it. But, like, But X-Men, now, Claremont, he did the first 2 issues. After that, the story's okay, the writing's okay, but you mainly bought it because of the Jim Lee artwork. Like, that's what you wanted in this book. So, it depends on the comic, in all reality, in my opinion. as to what is the most important driving factor of that product.
Yeah, no, I agree. It depends on the story as well. Like you said, with too much coffee, man, the story itself is the artwork that he has. It's fine. It works for the story that he's trying to tell.
Right.
Some stories you need that more, I guess, graphic, over the top, bombastic artwork to sell the story. It adds to the feeling and the impact of the story. Yeah, and indie comics, especially indie comics like Milk and Cheese or Too Much Coffee Man
or
stuff like
Bean
that.
Bean World.
Yeah. Yeah, they can get away with I guess less artwork or less over the top, bombastic or realistic, hyper realistic artwork, just because the story is more what's driving it. And it just the artwork is there to just kind of sort of just serve the story, as opposed to it's this I don't know, conglomerate of two things coming together to tell this epic story.
And Angela, it's possible he might offer it on a second chance campaign or something. So keep your eye out. It's beautiful if you can get it. That being said, I am more inclined to leave. Like, let's say you have Capullo drawing Batman with Scott Snyder writing. If Scott Snyder leaves and Capullo keeps doing it, I'm more inclined to stay on. If Capullo leaves and Snyder continues writing, I'm more than likely to leave. I will follow the artist more than I will follow the writer. If the writing is good, like this is back when I could read comics. If the writing is really good and the art was okay, I would still get it. I would still get it, but it has to be okay art. If the artwork was the total garbage, I don't care how good the writing is. I'm out. I'm done. Yeah. I'm following that artist.
I'm right there with you on that. The artwork has to at least be competent in order to keep my interest. I've read some truly they were all right writing. So there have been a few Warren Ellis books that Warren Ellis has picked some artists that I'm just like, why?
Okay, and Mike Spawn actually did get brought up, Mike, about in our conversation, but that also goes to then that too. Like you have Mike Miller, like his universe. Great writer, so you're more than like, okay, well, he's a great writer, so it almost doesn't matter sometimes who he has drawing it.
You mean Mark Millar?
Yeah, him too. You'll go for his story more than you will like the artist because you're a follower of Millar. So
yeah, I mean, but he'll pick really good artists to.
He picks good artists though. He does. Like I recently bought the Kick one for number 2. Yeah, Kick 2 though, the second one. I have the first one. Okay. I didn't ever have the second mini, so I picked that up for real cheap. But
nice.
But that is John Romita Jr. drawing it. I like John Romita Jr. So it's kind of a win. So the art gets you. Okay, the art does draw you in. You're right. The art gets you in the door. The writing keeps you.
Got to grab the eyeballs.
And the story will keep you. Yes, but even if the story is great, if that artist leaves that I came in there for, I'm out. Unless there's a decent artist that follows suit, then I'll stay on. But yeah, like Hocky yelled at me. He's like, "You don't even read them, Jason." I'm like, "Well, yeah, but I used to read comics. I used to be able to read." So,
I mean, a prime example for me is Walking Dead. Like
that's what brought up
Charlie
too.
Adler left. I kind of lost a lot of my vested interest in the story. I kept hoping that Tony Moore would come back, and nothing against Charlie Adler, but I'd like Tony Moore's artwork a hell of a lot better than Charlie Adler's.
Walking Dead got brought up. It did, and that was a prime example of a writing keeping you on. Inkspot's here. This is his stance on it, because the logo did get brought. I brought up the logo last night too, but I don't think it's that much. That's a little extreme to me, but Walking Dead got brought up as well. Like a lot of people really like the first early iterations of the art, and then some people were like, I don't know. What's up, Moore? Good to see you.
Hey, Moore. What's up, man?
So but it does depend on the person too. Obviously, if you're more into a story, like a great example to me in the whole thing is 90s Image. Dude, the stories in that were not good. They were not good. Like, they just weren't like, it's not like...
They were passable at best.
They were passable at best, but you kept buying the books because you have McFarlane, Liefeld, Pistachios. You know, you have, you know, Sam Keith, which, I mean, the Max is dope anyway. Everybody could shut up about that one. But anyway, you know, Pitt, like, you have Keown, like, you have all these top-tier talents. You kept buying the books because of the artwork. So it's a prime example of why people collect comics. It's mainly the art, in my opinion. The story, yes, you want a great story, a written story to keep you there. So don't get me wrong. I'm not saying it's totally useless.
Right. What's up, Ray?
Good to see you.
Welcome, Zaha.
Yeah.
Hocky says, I don't know who drew Rising Stars, but another writer. The story was great. Yeah, they had a few different artists on Rising Stars. I know Philip Tan was drawing some of that stuff for a little while. I'm not familiar with
Rising Stars, but I do like Philip Tan. He's good.
Yeah. Inkspots and I actually went over Rising Stars on Do You Even Read?
I usually caught every one of those.
Yep, a while back we went over that one.
Well, all right.
It was good.
I think a comic needs... he might be in here to talk about it. A great concept. See, here's the thing that I was also... What do you consider writing? Like, do you consider going into the pages, being like, all right, you know, generic superhero guy is going to fly through the sky here, and then he's going to land, and he's going to point at the villain, Brain Dude, and he's going to say, you're dead, Brain Dude. Do you consider that writing, or do you consider, I know, like the superhero guy is saying, you're going to die, Brain Dude? Is that writing? Like, what is the definition then of writing? Is it the concept, or is the actual meat of the writing as to where, like, what there's the verbiage and the narration?
Yes, both. I mean, you know, the concept has to be there, but you know, a lot of books don't have good dialogue. You know, and dialogue will take you out of a story just as quickly and as you know, bad artwork. You know, bad dialogue will completely tank a story. Like I've had there's been books that I've read that had really good artwork. I want to say Carlos Diana was doing the artwork on one of these books. It was an indie book, and the writing was just so terrible I couldn't even read it. I stopped reading and I just was looking at the pictures.
Much like Hocky with Groken. He hated Groken, so he can't... the story, not the art. He hated the story, so he's like, I can't get it anymore. Like, and so there's, like you just said. But, so then, but you can still have, like, if you and I, let's say you and neither one of us knew, like, how to write good dialogue at all.
Right.
You and I could probably, though, go in and lay out a killer conceptual storytelling script, so to speak, in visual format. So, but we didn't write jack, but we still did the whole comic, but we need somebody to go in there and write in what they're saying. So are we then writing it since we did all of that, even though we're crap writers?
I mean, I honestly write a lot of my stuff in pictures. You know, I'll make notes about things, and sometimes I'll write things out. But yeah, I'll use pictures to, you know, basically storyboard a thumbnail out a story, and then refine it from there. You know, because I have an idea of already what I want to happen with the actions.
That's conceptualizing. So to me, that's more or less thinking in pictorial fashion. Like, it's not really, so to speak, writing. It's storytelling, which is a different form of, like, look at cave paintings. They were telling stories without words. They didn't know how. They didn't have words, but they were still able to convey a story of something in visual format without any written form of language. Like, they just did it. So that, to me, I mean, this is, I think, an opinion-based concept anyway, but that to me then isn't writing. Whenever you lay out the comic and, like, draw it all out, you could have, like, be as detailed as humanly possible. That, you didn't write it. You conceptualized it, but you didn't really write it. To me, a writer more or less is the person who puts in the narration. Now, he can also dictate, like, you know, in this panel, you know, generic superhero guy is going to fly through the window. Like, yes, you're conceptualizing in a written form. So you are writing your concept down. But to me, I think conceptualizing takes place in a separate area as far as what writing goes.
Yeah, no, I can see what you mean there. I don't know.
Yeah, what's up, Henry?
I guess what you're saying is it doesn't really come across as writing to you unless they're actually writing down the words.
To me,
they're typing out the words and like maybe panel descriptions or something like that. You know,
yo, what's up, Henry?
Some writers don't do panel descriptions. They just say, "Hey, this is what needs to happen on this page," you know, in a series of events, you know, and then leave it up to the writer. I mean, that's
right.
To me, that's a better kind of collaboration. You know, you have an idea of what needs to happen on this page and the next page and whatnot, but you let the artist, you know, conceptualize how to lay it out. You know, I mean that's basically what we've been doing on Mercenary Guild. You know, I have a description of what needs to happen on this particular page. They've got it broken down page by page, and then, you know, I get to figure out the layout that'll best tell the story.
And see, like, and once this does go back to, you want great written dialogue and narrations, you want great writing as well as great, you know, visual storytelling. So you want the key combo. Even mediocre of one or average one, great the other. One of them really to me has to be though good, no matter what. One of them has to stand out.
Sure.
Or they both. Like you have to have one stand out, one be okay, or they both stand out. You can't have just, you know, if one of them is just trash, to me, you're almost going to lose. You're going to lose a backer. Like, look at, you know, as Hocky said, he was gone with Groken. He couldn't do it, and I bounce if the artist bounces. So, you know, if he kept writing Groken, which to me the story isn't good, but let's say the story is great. He kept writing Groken, but if he stopped drawing it, I wouldn't buy it anymore. I just wouldn't. I'm there for the Roquefort art.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
many times the screenplay has zero dialogue, but it was still done by a writer. Yeah.
Yeah, but that's a screenplay. Those are typically done. Those are conceptualized by a writer initially, anyway. Though a comic can be conceptualized by an artist, fully drawn, and he'd be like, "I have no idea what they're saying. I just can't think of a great way for them to say the things. So I need somebody to go in there and to write what to say in the things. Like I can think, oh, I'm gonna punch you. That sounds like crap. I need somebody to write it. So you can have a great conceptual illustrator and storytelling and story, like, you know, movies and stuff, scripters, they're conceptualizing in a written format. So it's, conceptualizing to me is a separate entity from the process of what is like the meat and the, like if you walk into a comic shop, as Ink and I were talking about last night with Billy and them, to me that is the writing and the drawing part. That there is the part, not the behind the scenes, the making of it, not, you know, the carpenters coming in and building the set. That's nothing to do with it as much as the final product of who's in the credits, written by, drawn by. So that's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, well, in that regard, it's the dialogue. You know, what the characters are saying, what goes into the word balloons is what it comes down to then. It's not I can find good-looking art anywhere. It's not enough to make me stick around for subsequent volumes.
And but see, and this is where it does boil down to personal taste and personal choice and what you are seeking these products out for. You know, so I could, if there's a TV series on and the visuals are fantastic, but the writing's garbage, I'm not going to come back for the TV series. So, and same with vice versa with a comic, I'll stick around for the visuals all day, every day. But that's a personal choice. It's personal taste. So that I'm drawn to the art part of it. So
yeah, I am too. I mean, I love good, you know, visually engaging art, but again, like I said, I've got to have at least a passable story. I mean, if the story is just abysmal, I'm not going to keep spending my money on it, even though, you know, I may like the artist that's on it. You know, there's got to be an engaging story there as well.
Well, and like Alex says, that's why he likes, you know, the Billy likes manga, and this is what Billy was saying. They're very heavy in story. And I'm not knocking manga art. Dude, Akira's dope. Berserk, what is it? Berserk? Isn't that what it's called? Berserk. I have insanely good. There's some really well illustrated manga out there, but to me, it is also a little cookie cutter. It's a little cookie cutter. I'm not like there are standout types. It's like a house style with Marvel. There's a lot of that with manga. So to me, it's like you kind of know what you're going to get with the art. Like it's nothing experimental, so to speak. Whereas you can go in the indie scene and find totally experimental art and be like, oh, this is great. This isn't. I love this. I don't like that. So, but the story from what I hear are bangers. So I'm not going to dispute that. I don't buy it. I don't collect it or read it, but I'm not against it. I'm not against manga. But yeah. Billy and Hocky are kind of on the same wavelengths.
That would be like a scripter in my estimation. Then, the person that puts the words into the dialogue balloons that didn't necessarily write out the series of events that the artist then transcribes onto paper. That's more of a scripter. If the writer to me comes up with a series of events that actually happens, may dictate exactly what's going to happen in the panels. I mean, Alan Moore kind of went into minute detail about everything that happened in each one of the panels, but I never like that. That seems too constrictive, So yeah, you can tell a sequential story without words, but you can't tell a sequential story without art. This is true.
And that's the other thing. Hocky was jokingly yelling at us that if the art art is the most important thing, then just make an art book. It's like, well, but if the writing is, I could reverse that argument. If the writing is the most important thing, then just make a novel. Like, why are you doing a comic then if you don't love to draw? Like, here's where a good argument comes into play. Look at a novella or whatever, where it's a novel, but there's some pictures in it. That's where the art doesn't mean jack. I'm not going to keep coming back to a novella because the art is amazing. I'm going to come for the story. So there are instances where, yes, the writing is the main focal point of a certain product. To me, it's just in comics, it is what it is. And like like Inkspot said, like I had mentioned the logo. Like, actually, a logo is very important, especially if you're walking into a comic shop, because you're far away. You're far away. Yeah, you're going to want to stand out and read it and be able to see. Like, you're going to be drawn to that logo that you can read over the one that's just gobbledygook and you don't know what it is. And then you'll get closer and see the artwork, which will then pull you in, and then you'll read it, and the story should keep you. Ideally, that's the way it should go.
I agree.
Yeah,
I agree. And I think Billy said something like that. The artwork will get you in the door, but the story is going to keep you in the seat. Yeah.
Usually that usually is the way it works. I mean, like, okay, another good example. I have the Jane Foster Thor books. I have almost all of them. The story is pure and utter garbage. I like the artwork. I think the art is good. That's why I have them. There's no other reason. They're pure trash. But the artwork is good. Like, I like the artwork in it. So I will keep coming back to a garbage written comic if the artwork is at least like, oh, that looks cool. Look what that artist did there, So yeah,
it's easier to deal with a poorly written story with great artwork than it is a greatly written story with piss poor artwork. At least for me, being a visual person. So I totally get that.
Yeah. And everybody go sign up for Hocky's book. Going to be launching in like a week and a half, two-ish weeks. Going to be launching, so make sure you sign up for it. You get an exclusive bookmark when you back. Link is right there by Alex. Thank you so much for dropping that, Alex. Looking forward to that. Hocky's been working diligently hard on it. The artwork and the writing are both fantastic, so you'll want to stick around for that one. I read it. I was able to read it because he let us read it. I actually found some like spelling errors. Yeah, the blind guy caught him. So
nice.
Well done. Look at that. Look at me go. But no, everybody sign up for it. You're not going to regret it. It's going to be a great book. You guys are going to want to back that. Yeah. There's the link again. Thank you, Henry.
I'll be having Hocky on New Book Who Dis on the 29th.
Nice. Yeah, I'll have Hocky on as well. Yeah. 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 Like I said, it's a debate that's been going on since comics were, pretty much created, in my opinion.
Oh, sure.
I think after a certain point, the art started to become more of a focal point, actually. Like, yeah, it was great with Neil Adams and John Byrne and, like, even Kirby and all them, but it was heavy story driven. Like, it really was heavy. Like, and when I say story, I mean writing. I don't mean, like...
Yeah. Well, Chris Claremont was a writer. He wrote out the stories. Not just the stuff that went into the dialogue balloons, but it was also the descriptions of what was going on the page and whatnot.
But
John Byrne and Chris Claremont together were the storytellers of that story.
but still, I think it was still very, I'm trying to find the right word. Like, I don't want to say perfectionism, but it was still ideal. And there was an ideal format as to how you drew them, like what they looked like. You could identify a burn over Ramita. You know what I mean? Like, you can.
Oh, yeah, totally.
There's style in there. But I think the indie scene, with the creation of an indie scene and also just an underground movement, and plus then them seeping into the mainstream, it really got it more art related as far as that goes. Like a fine art type, like integration of that into the comics, as to where then people were like buying the books because the art is so good, even if the story is utter trash. It was a different idea.
Yeah. Well, the thing is that it's become more focused on the writer now, especially in the mainstream, and it seems like the writer gets all of the credit now, and the artists are just, they're the art monkeys. They don't get any credit anymore. Like when they're crediting creators for characters in movies and stuff, these big time movies that get made. It seems like they'll credit the writer as the creator, but not the artist that came up with the visual look of the character, and I don't think that's right. I think that's you don't get the character in its end form without the artist giving those visual cues, creating the look of the characters.
Right. Oh, we got Oliver in the chat.
What's up, Oliver? Welcome, sir.
There he is. I see you. I'd find you eventually. Oliver's. Everybody, dude. All right. Peter Gilmore.
Mm-hmm.
You need the whole King of Horror thing. 656 has you beat, buddy. I'm sorry. You gotta drop that, man. First off, nobody calls himself the king of anything unless you're Kirby. But 656, I'm sorry, they got you in the horror department, my friend. Everybody go subscribe to 656 Comics on YouTube. I love those cats. They're great guys. Cryptidnals. Dude, come on. Cryptidnals?
Great book.
Gotta stop.
Fucking great book. Yep.
I mean, sorry, Pete. And you're going down Thursday, by the way. That's beside the point.
Cockfight.
What are you talking about? I'm just speaking truths. I don't know what that is. What's a cockfight? I don't know what you mean. I'm not peacocking here. I'm just saying, that I'm better than him. You are a minority. That's all you need to finish reading right there.
Read for the story. Don't see art as heavily unless I'm specifically only looking at the art. I love Hush. Can't tell you any of the artwork specifically. But I mean, Jim Lee did all of Hush. So, there you go.
Also, Jim Lee is an amazing artist. Like, okay, you would still probably buy Hush if Mike Allred, who I still like anyway, if he had drew it. You know what I mean? You would probably still buy Hush. It's a good story. It
would feel disjointed though.
Okay,
that storyline would not have the same impact if Allred had drawn it. He's got a different type of style. It's not. I mean, it's not as serious. It doesn't seem as serious. You know what I mean?
Let's put it this way: what if the guy who did Bean World drew Hush? You probably wouldn't want to buy it. Like, you just wouldn't. So, art does play a factor in a comic story. It just does. Mm-hmm. It's a comic book, like you said, Hocky. Otherwise, it would be a novel.
Farming art to the third world countries and taking away their input and agency in the process. Yeah. Well, gotta get cheaper and cheaper artists. That way they can, continue to crank out, a shit ton of books every month for exorbitant prices.
Novels for the writers. Well, like I said, if I'm sure, I guarantee you there's a lot of titles I would still be collecting probably if I was able to read them. I follow artists mainly now because I can't read them as much, but right. I might stick around to some titles longer maybe if I could read it. Possibly. I don't know. From what I hear, I hear a lot of modern stuff is just trash when it comes to the writing, but the artwork is still pretty decent. So
that's why it got so hard to sell comics to people working in the comic shop, because there was nothing really worth recommending.
That's why you recommend the Cryptidnals.
That's right.
That's right.
I mean, that's why I would recommend like old stuff in the back issue bins. And what I really wanted to say is like, there's a bunch of indie stuff on, Indiegogo that you could go check out if you really want some good comics. But I can't say that because I'm working in the comic shop and I got to try to sell the stuff that's up on the wall. So,
wow, I got to drop the link. But like I said, ideally you want both in a comic. You want great story. You want great writing. It is a comic book after all. It's a visual medium. It is a visual medium. So you otherwise, like everybody's saying, you would just buy a novel, like you just would. If you're just there for the writing, it's a visual medium, so you want both. You want great art, great writing.
Mm-hmm. Great art, great writing. You want compelling characters. You want a fun, lived-in world that you can actually go on an adventure with these characters with. We've said this before, I'm sure, but talking about Chris Claremont's X-Men, the reason why people cared about those characters is because they felt real. The world that they lived in felt real. That was brought to life by the writing of Claremont and the artwork of Byrne. People cared about these characters and they wanted more.
Well, also look at iconic comic covers, hence the artwork. Mm-hmm. Like people remember comic book covers. And speaking of iconic art,
hello.
What's up, Billy?
I only buy for the colorists.
Of course you do.
That's it. If Billy Bacsko coloring a book, I'm buying it. Goblin, buying it. Plegel guy, I only know Billy Bacsko.
Oh my god! I can't believe that you brought up this topic from yesterday.
I need something to talk about, dude.
Because this is literally. You were right in the fact that this is the quintessential comic book store argument.
It's
we would all be sitting around the counter fucking just like the street lights would be getting turned on. I'd be like sweating like fuck, my mom is gonna kill me right now, but I gotta get my point in on this conversation right now.
I think it doesn't have to do with that. Like we all know that both Anthony? Are important.
What up, Anthony?
It has to do with who's more important. That's what it is.
Yeah, I would say because making the TV and movie analogies, those don't fall into quite the same category as comic books being a visual medium.
They're not the same kind of medium, no, not at all.
They're visual mediums, but not in the same way that a comic is. It is slightly different. That's why it's I started off with, dude, the art's going to get you in the door, but the writing is going to keep you in the seats. Because, Jason even brought up, too, it's you can switch artists, but the artist has still got to be a pretty decent artist to keep you there. And Alex said, too, that he's bought graphic novels where the art was kind of shit, but the writing was really good, and he felt like it was an uphill battle.
Yeah. Well, I think Henry Bemis mentioned something about Sandman. Some of, on the flip side, there are some issues of Sandman with atrocious art, but they're totally readable because of the writing. Yeah. And because that's also because you're probably invested in the story of Sandman.
Yeah, look how many people I've tried to get into One Piece, and they've just flat out told me they're like, "Dude, I cannot get into that art." I'm just like, "Oh man," I'm like, "But the stories are so good," and they're like,
"He's always had that."
I don't care. The stories might be great, but the hurdle for me is Ichiro Oda's art. I'm just not feeling it. I'm just like, all right. But it was great. Once the One Piece live action came out, I actually had several of those same people that said that they wouldn't read any One Piece, said that they ended up loving the live action adaptation, and they're like, oh man, I love this character, and I love this character. I'm like, yeah, it's all in the manga. It's all there. It's all there.
I don't know. I think there's just certain artists that it doesn't matter. Joe Matt could put out a book that is total crap story. It would sell every single issue. It doesn't have to be good.
I think there are.
Spawn's been selling. The Spawn's the main one. It's been selling forever, and the story on that has almost always sucked. So it's the art can sell without any story easily. It does. It has, but that doesn't mean that both aren't. You don't. when you're making a comic, you definitely want both. I don't think there's any argument that you'd rather have great art and a great story. And I think for me, Green Lantern Rebirth is that great art and but I would never know who Jeff Johns. Now I'll pick up anything Jeff Johns writes, but I wouldn't have known who Jeff Johns was unless I picked up a book with EVS's artwork.
Right.
So that got me into it. But so there are certain writers that I'll pick up. Like Jeff Johns is definitely one. Anything he writes, I will pick it up and read it. So
yeah, I understand. And there are some people that will have noticed artists because of the same reason. They picked up a book because of the writer, and then they got introduced to a new artist. So it does happen both ways. But yeah, I can relate to finding good writers based on good artists.
I think it's when one side tries to overpower the other side. Like when a writer's like, I'm more important than it's like, well, you're not really more important than the artist. I just feel like you take an artist away, there's no comic. So that ends the argument right there. It's over.
Yeah, apparently YouTube is being wonky. A lot of people are having issues with it. We are streaming to Twitter also, so I don't know if that helps. But if I have my speech chat on, it doesn't read the Twitter comments, unfortunately. Yeah, Luke, but I don't have it on right now. But
Luke, I was glad that you brought up Walking Dead because, I really got into the TV show, and I was just like, I think I want to read the comic. So, I went and got the comic, and was just all in on issues 1 through 30 or whatever. Right. And I think that's 30 or 40 is where they switched to the other artists. And I was
actually after issue 7, issue 7 was the first one. Charlie Adler, yeah.
Okay, but
the first 6 issues were Tony Moore.
Did they switch again to another artist around
No, it's been Charlie Adler the whole time after that, and I think he just kind of settled into a speedy groove rather than.
Really? Oh, dude! It got so bad to a point where I was just like, "Hold on, I don't want to read this anymore."
Hocky take the writing away. There's no comic. Have you never read a Rob Liefeld comic then?
But also, Hocky, last night you even said so yourself. If there was no dialogue in this, you'd be able to follow it just fine in your own comic. So you just disproved your argument right here because you yourself said.
But he's the writer on that as well, though, too.
It's different, though.
No, okay.
A comic book artist is a writer.
I'm talking writing as in Jenny is speaking, blah, blah, blah. That's the writing, not the Jenny is moving forward 4 inches. No.
That's script, really.
I'm not talking about... That script is writing. That's what I'm talking about. I'm not talking about, conceptualization.
But see, writing is both, though, because when you read a book, it's not always and then she said.
Right, but this goes back to the cave paintings. They didn't have language or writing, and they still did a story formatted thing. I'm talking about conceptualizing is different from the writing process. I can conceptualize a complete book and hopefully make it legible. Hocky has yet to tell me, but I can do that without the words, even though I conceptualized it, and it's not a writing aspect. To me, the writing is the dialogue and the narration to help guide the story forward. That's the writing. That's what I'm saying.
Okay, well, you have a really weird definition of what the writing is, because a lot of
writing. It's the guy that says writer in the comic.
Well, I mean, a lot of H.P. Lovecraft stories have zero dialogue in them. It's all narration and conceptualization.
Mm-hmm. It's all right, but the narration is writing.
The artist does that. It's like part of the writing is the artist is doing that.
Hocky.
The artist is pretty much the writer.
If I open a comic, it's not going to say storytelling and then have the writer's name. It's going to say written by.
I will say in the best cases that Inkspots is describing, yes, the artist is doing it. In the worst cases, it's not, from the example that I gave earlier, where that's why I think writers became elevated in the era where they started farming out art to third world countries, basically taking away the agency and input from the artist, where they didn't have any input even from panel to panel. There was somebody literally dictating how that whole thing was going to go. Yeah. That's why writer ended up getting top billing and top importance or whatever like that. Is because literally, I mean, they didn't even have a choice in it at that point. That creative part of it was taken away from them. which I think makes a lesser book. Again, I think makes for a lesser product when you're not allowing that true collaboration.
And it goes all the way back to Kirby and Stan Lee. You know, does Stan Lee deserve more credit, even though he probably just said 4 people go into space and they come back with powers, and then Jack Kirby made the Thing, Mr. Fantastic, the Invisible Woman, and the Human Torch look like they do. Like, who's more important?
He designed their visual look, yeah.
All right, because if you go by this, an artist is a writer is a writer. They're storytellers, so you don't. It's not in the credits. It's not. But in the credits, it doesn't say storytelling. Jack Kirby, Stan Lee. It says writer, artist.
I mean, some books are like that. Actually, I've seen.
Once in a while, you have one, but that's whenever it's usually a 50-50 owned product or whatever, and people want to share credit in that regard.
I think in that sense, it's like when a screenplay writer is working with a storyboard artist. It's similar to that, because like they're both working out, like turning that written word into the visual look, and you start getting it back and forth, because then sometimes a writer will actually see how their scene plays out in a visual, storyboard, and they're like, oh God, I need to go back and like rewrite that, based on the feedback that I'm actually getting from the artist, where he's shown me what I've written, like
you could be illiterate and still draw a conceptualized comic that makes sense.
Sure. Yeah.
You're not writing, but you're not writing jack. You're not writing nothing. You can't write. You're illiterate. You're drawing it in sequential format. So the writer is going in and writing the words in. That to me is the writer.
Well, I mean, there's a lot of stories from like Native Americans, because they didn't have a written history.
That's what I said. With cave paintings and such.
I mean, so you can't attribute the first person to actually write it down in English as the writer of that story. Like they put it in
transcribed it.
Yeah, they transcribed.
Yeah. Yeah. What's up, Anthony?
What's up?
Dark betrayer.
I gotta drop the link in TOPicLESS.
My lord, Dark betrayer.
I gotta agree with Jason, but I just don't think he's explaining himself correctly.
I can't formulate it in any less of an intellectual way. I don't know how to simplify it more.
There's a difference between plotting, which I think what most artists do if they're writing their own stuff without actually writing a script, and writing. You know what I mean? Because other than like just the dialogue of a comic book, when you're seeing like narration boxes and stuff, that's a writer. But you can literally plot a whole book and draw it, and not put any dialogue in it or any narration boxes in it, and still tell a story. You just plotted out the story.
That's what I said.
Yeah. But you'd still credit yourself as writing that story, even though you may not have written it down. Like you wrote that story.
You probably just put like created by and then your name.
Yeah, I would probably just put story by.
By. Yeah.
Yeah. I wouldn't say written by, right. Yeah.
Yeah. But
I think you're getting hung up on the actual word right.
Right, because that's what I'm talking about though.
Yeah.
That's what I'm talking about, the written
word. This conversation's getting lost in semantics.
I think it might be different because Jason's the kind of artist that can do that too. Maybe there's sequential artists that aren't competent enough to figure that stuff out themselves. Maybe they can't be given just a little direction and then just make the page happen. I mean, but most of us can. Even I can.
I would say
Dan's in chat. He just said Billy is illiterate. Confirmed.
I would call it plotting. I wouldn't really necessarily say it's writing, right?
Yeah,
that's what I said.
Yeah,
you can make a whole comic without ever putting pencil to paper.
The person that usually, what's the title that you would give someone that usually does like the job of plotting? They're a writer.
Storytelling.
Yeah, they've got the speaking stick right now.
Storytelling. It's storytelling. You can do storytelling without words.
But you don't get a job as a storyteller.
You don't play charades. Like there's no words in charades.
If we're talking credits, I've seen crazy stuff. I've seen things like where it's like story by Luke, plotted by Billy, written by Jason.
Red.
Yeah. Well, because they're all different. Like,
and I also call those ego-driven individuals.
No,
okay? You gotta have an ego.
Because,
you can't just share it.
Well, no, because they're all really different jobs. I mean, that's one of the hangups why, like I said, I would probably never do a comic myself, is because I have an idea and a lot of world building for a story, but I don't think I could ever write it. Like, because I don't know where the meat is of my actual story, or like where to drop in, and like how the interaction of everything would play out. Like, I would need a writer.
If you're credited as just like story by and your name is there, you're basically just a producer, right? Because all you did was probably say like,
oh yeah, producer, yeah.
Yeah, you basically were just like you said before, four guys go into space and come back with powers. That's the story, right? Like, now somebody needs to plot out and flesh it out, and then so they make it outline and plot it out, and then somebody else comes in and actually noodles all that down into the script, right?
Yeah, the old Marvel style. Really, that's all that was. Like,
right.
We need 10 pages. This is what needs to happen in those 10 pages. Draw it, and then I'll put dialogue in.
It seems the Marvel style came around because Stan Lee was editing and writing a bunch of different books. 20 different books a month. So that's the way he developed that, so he could get more done. And he left it up to the artists, who were also, writers. They were storytellers in their own regard, to get the story across. Sorry, Barb, what were you going to say, man?
Well, I mean, I think writing is a little bit more important than just filling in word balloons or playing charades. At least in my project, I mean, I'm the one that actually inhabited these characters and came up with them, and Luke has seen my writing, and it's very descriptive in a way. And the reason why I didn't go the novella route or the novel route is because nobody reads anymore, and it won't sell no matter how good it is. Razor Fist book didn't sell nearly as well as this comic is going to sell. Graphic novels are the thing right now, so I went that route to put a great story with great art, and try to get into Comicsgate and all that, and the independent scene, or Iron Age, or whatever you want to call it. If I went the novella route, it'd be out already, and I probably
it's the self-publishing of a independent novel is a lot more uphill battle than comics can be.
All right, but see, Hocky has. This is what I'm saying. I am taking writing literally. I'm taking it literally. No, it's not just charades. It's not all this. I'm just saying you could tell a story without words, like charades. I didn't say it's irrelevant. I'm just saying, to me, writing it. To me, I'm using it in the literal aspect as to what keeps a casual collector contained in the thing. I'm not talking about in creating a comic. I'm talking about the final product of the comic as to what the purchaser sees. They don't see the back end. They just see what they see in front of them. Written by Stan Lee. Stan Lee wrote these little words in there. That's it. That's all they know. They don't know anything different.
A lot of artists, we have to remember, are very, very, very technically proficient, but they're not necessarily good storytellers.
Yeah, it's a hand-in-hand thing. I mean, we have terrible writing in comics right now. They're not doing well. We have terrible writing in video games, even though the graphics might be good. We have terrible writing in movies and television shows, and it shows. Writing right now is taking it in the shorts. And but there's still some great art out there. I mean, there's still a video game you can play and look at and go, well, it looks nice and all that. But it kind of goes hand in hand. I mean, it has to be. And I think Luke and I have a pretty good relationship as to how we work together. I write very descriptively in a novel type fashion. So even though I don't do art direction, because I didn't know anything about writing comic scripts per se, but Luke can pick up on the cues and create what's turning out to be a pretty good book. So I'm just not filling in word balloons while.
No, see, once again, you're going back to that. That's but Joe Smith, who bought your book, doesn't know any of that. He just knows you put in the word balloons.
Right.
That's what I'm talking about. I know what you do. And I know you do more than just put in word balloons. John Smith doesn't. He has no clue. He does, as far as he knows, Luke did all of the little panels. He created those. You created all the little words, and together you made a great book. That's what he knows. And that's what I'm talking about as to what keeps a reader invested is the combination of the two. You can lose one, but it depends on which one you lose, whether or not you retain them. That's what I'm talking about.
It's always interesting.
Right. I agree with that.
It's always interesting when you get the flip-flop of both, though. Like when you get someone that you enjoyed the story for, but then you pair them up with a writer or an artist that's not quite as good to see if you enjoy that product, and then vice versa. You get an artist that you get an artist that you thought was really good, and then you pair them up with a bad writer, and then you realize it's like, oh wow, man, this guy's really good at like anatomy and like drawing buildings and hot chicks and stuff, but like, man, his visual storytelling is just dog shit. Like even with a really good writer, he's like falling on his face. Like, this is weird. You know, it's weird when you get the flip flop of both. You know, like
like if you have a bad writer and a good artist, I would say just buy the guy's pinups and be done with
it. well, the thing also with that too sometimes is like, if you're like the
or you just buy Spawn, every single image book that's ever come out, and just about every comic book on the shelf that sells consistently with bad writing over and over and over and over again, since it's a visual medium and writer Schneider.
If you're just an artist for hire, though, right? And like say you're an artist for hire, and you got this guy who's not the greatest writer, and like the script is a good script, but like let's say it's a better script for like say TV rather than a comic book, right? You're trying to like guide them a little bit, like I think we should change this or change that, and the writer overrules you because you're just a paid grunt, you know. It can make you look bad, like Billy was just saying, make you look like you don't know what you're doing, but you're literally just doing what you were paid to do, you know?
Yeah.
Like, so.
Yeah, I mean,
that's why it's got to be a collaborative effort. You know,
there's examples out there.
When making a book, yes, it has to be a collaborative effort. There has to be bounce back feedback. It has to be a full on conformed thing. And that's what makes the end product fantastic. In the nutshell, in making of the book, like, and that's what keeps the readers coming back.
Like, people that are good at their craft, trust them to do a good job.
I think, like when Image came out, they proved that you can't keep a company afloat on just art.
They tried, and Spawn still does it, but
then they had the reverse.
What they proved is you can't keep a company afloat if you don't put out books. That's
true too. But also, Malibu put together a small company that was just like major writers, and they just used really shitty artists, and they couldn't sell one book. So it's
in like with you take like one of my favorite runs is Stern's Spider-Man run in the 80s, and you know, that's where Spider-Man kind of grew up, and it led up to the wedding, and it led up to Spider-Man versus Wolverine and the whole Hobgoblin Ned Leeds storyline. I mean, some of that writing was just brilliant, and the art just went hand in hand with it. But he really took a take on where Spider-Man, in my opinion, became Spider-Man. You know, he wasn't.
Oh man, one of my favorite Spider-Man books. Like, you know, it's like before we had the internet. We were kind of like in our own little bubbles of like kind of like what we thought, and we weren't really allowed to. I mean, there was no ability to like share with like people other than your like close knit like comic book group of like what they thought about like certain stories or stuff like that, you know?
Right.
Or like you're like, oh whoa, that was popular, you know? Because it's like when you're a kid, you don't follow like sales charts and shit like that, and then you find out 15-20 years later like that like everybody else in the country was like also like reading that or like loved that or something like that. Man, I did not know that so many Spider-Man fans hated the Clone Saga in the 90s.
Oh god, yeah. Pretty much everybody hated that.
I loved that and didn't know that everybody hated it until like the 2000s. I'm like, man, I love the Clone story. And they're like, wait, what? You like what?
Billy's like, I love Ben Reilly. He's the bestest.
I love Ben Reilly.
I'm with Billy on this one. I actually like the Clone Saga.
Oh
man, like it was like I mean, it kind of, you know, I don't know. I wasn't used to reading almost those.
It was a mind fuck.
Yeah, those kinds of like twists when I was like in my teens. I was like, wait, you mean the Spider-Man that I've been reading for like since I was a kid is like not been the real Spider-Man, and they got switched out in the 70s.
And that's what made people hate it. They were resentful. They were resentful of the fact that Marvel pulled that bait and switch on them. That's what they hated.
Oh, man.
They were not happy with that.
I like that they went back in history and they revisited Jackal's story.
Yeah.
But it's just that it got so convoluted. You know what I'm saying? Like it got so fucked up that you were like, and it went on for too long. You know, I think it was like 2 years.
Yeah,
it was just at that point. It was almost as bad as them making Wolverine. It's just
that's why
or something like that. It's like
comics. It just gets too. They're over here. They're over there. You got to get this little tie-in, and it's just too much. It's over. And it doesn't advance the overall arcing story whatsoever.
Well, they started taking advantage of the fans, and they were like,
that's another thing.
Exactly.
And that's when I stopped collecting because you couldn't get a whole story out of the series you were collecting.
Not in one title. It's like you got to buy X-Force, you got to buy X-Men, you got to buy, you got to buy
Captain America,
all the little tie-in books. You got to buy Force Works number 23 to see what happens in the X-Men story that you want to.
It's fucked up.
Which one was it? It was like in the late 80s, early 90s or something where like it was like all when they did the annuals, right? Like all the annuals.
I love the annuals. I thought the annuals was shit.
The miniseries stuff like that, the crossover started in X-Men. Fall of the Mutants. Fall of the Mutants was the first crossover at Marvel. And it sold so well with the X-Men that they decided to start doing it in everybody else's book. And that's why you saw the rise of these crossover events. And now it's just all crossover events. Like, it's got to involve every fucking book in the universe. And you got to get every single one of them in order to get the entire story. And fans don't like that. They feel like they're being taken advantage of.
That was the thing. When
Secret Wars 2 did that. You had to buy a lot to get all of Secret Wars too.
They also did that with the Infinity Conflict too.
Yeah,
and the Infinity Gauntlet too. I think it was, or was it Conflict? I don't remember.
Yeah, you're right. Infinity Wars.
Gauntlet was the first one,
and then Infinity Wars.
Yeah,
that whole series was designed for you to buy every book in the Marvel collection.
And people got resentful for that.
At least when they started the crossovers, like Luke was saying, though, they were like contained, right? And they didn't happen very often. Like you had Fall of the Mutants, then what? Like a couple of years later, Mutant Massacre.
Yep. Extinction Agenda.
Inferno. Like, but they were all like, okay, it was just the X titles, right? And they happened like every couple of years, or the annuals did it, but like what I was referring to is I remember it was like all the X-Men annuals and then like a Fantastic Four annual just happened to be part of that storyline. I don't remember which one it was, but I was like, I have to go buy a Fantastic Four annual. I don't call it Fantastic Four.
Or like Preston was just saying, or a Captain America book.
Who wants Captain America? Who wants Captain America? That's crazy. And I liked it better when it was just like the annual was like this really cool story at the end of the year.
I've never read a Captain American book in my entire life.
The only one I liked was when they had Baron Blood. And the
vampire.
Yeah, that was the coolest thing.
I have an annual Captain America with him and Wolverine.
The only reason I knew the Infinity Gauntlet saga was even happening is because I was playing Marvel vs. Capcom 1 and like they had the Infinity Stones.
The closest I came to reading a Captain America story was with that one issue of X-Men where it took place in the past and it had Wolverine, Cap, and Black Widow.
It was X-Men 200 and something.
Yeah.
It has Cap, Wolverine, and Black Widow on the cover. Yeah, I have that one.
Yeah, that is the closest. And then the poster with Cap and Wolverine, I had that poster. That was the closest I ever got to buying like a Captain America thing, yeah.
I've got some old Cap books. They're fun. I mean, comic book supervillain terrorists, AIM, Hydra, stuff like that. MODOK shows up.
The 90s were all about Spider-Man.
I got him with Hulk.
Did anybody here actually read West Coast Avengers?
Yes,
I did.
I loved West Coast Avengers, and I like that you call. I like that you called it West Coast Avengers, not Avengers West Coast, because it's.
I liked Force Works, man, and I liked Force Works only because I liked the War Machine.
I like the Wonder Man series they put out. It was never lasted long. Yeah. The artist was amazing.
After a while, you kind of get tired of a series, right? I mean, I collected for about 10 issues, and then I just kind of drift away. That's very seldom does.
I don't know. That Wonder Man series was great.
If it's a good, well-written series, it can keep your interest. I read all the Savage She-Hulk's 25 issues. Kept my interest, but
one thing I hate about like ongoing series is Walt Simonson did an amazing run on Thor, one of the best runs since Kirby. Mm-hmm. Then they put some jackhole on it that undid everything he did.
Right? Yeah.
It's fucking horrible.
Well, it's like even on those books that you don't usually buy, I will buy them if they get like a really good artist on them. Like I bought Captain America when Bart Sears was drawing it. So
Bart Sears did Captain America.
Yeah, he did a Captain America.
But you weren't down for like Paul Ryan or some of the others, Mike Zack maybe.
Yeah, Mike Zack.
I like Zack.
Zack's always good.
Good. But yeah,
he did a better Punisher.
Yeah, I was gonna say Punisher was Zack's thing. Yeah.
Punisher on steroids. Sometimes his Punisher looked puffy.
You're unmuted now.
Well, I talked to him about that, and because I liked his run on Secret Wars. I thought his run on Secret Wars.
One of the Kuberts do with Captain America also? Did a little bit of Sentinel of Liberty?
Well,
that was good.
That was after Image, like all the artists left, and they had the Kuberts doing every book in a Marvel.
What about when Liefeld did Captain America? Man, he could draw some text. I tell you what.
What a terrible Captain America. In fact, even Wallace Portasio, I'm a huge Wallace Portasio fan, but he couldn't do justice to Iron Man. He just wasn't the right artist.
I enjoyed the work he did in that Iron Man, that Heroes Reborn Iron Man stuff.
It was good. It's just that it didn't fit. It didn't feel like it fit. Wallace is an X-Men guy.
His stock and trade seems to be much more darker storytelling fare. I agree.
Did you read that Fing Fang Foom like 2-part graphic novel he did?
No.
Oh, it's fucking amazing, dude.
I don't doubt it. It's God, what was it? There was Night something or other that he did. It was a Marvel maxi series or something like that, 2 issues. Damn it.
I think that was it. I think that might have been the Fing Fang Foom.
Was it?
How about Mark Waid's Captain America run, huh?
Good
art brought everything down, didn't it?
Yeah, well, Mark Waid always brings everything down. Nobody likes Mark Waid.
I mean, I liked Silver Surfer. I liked Ron Lim on Silver Surfer.
They stretch Ron Lim too thin. Like he was, he's another one that's a great artist, but he had such a deadline on because he was working on 6 books at once. That his art style just got like he was doing Infinity Gauntlet, he was doing Silver Surfer, he was a fill-in artist for a bunch of other books. I mean, it's crazy.
Yeah, I think there was one with Silver Surfer and Mephisto, and it was like the whole book was sideways, instead of up and down all the panels, it was horizontal instead of vertical, and that was a great Silver Surfer book.
He did an amazing run on Silver Surfer. It's just that I don't think he could put his all on it into it because they just had Ron, like him working on everything. It was crazy. Like the first couple of books he did of Silver Surfer were amazing, and then you could tell like he was in a crunch for time.
Trying to figure out who that artist was on the Wonder Man series.
Johnson, wasn't it?
Legion of Night is the thing I'm thinking of.
That's what it is. Yeah,
Legion of Night. Yeah, that shit was great, man. I remember seeing the cover for that, Legion of Night #1, in like a bunch of different books in the back, and I could never find it until one day it just showed up in the comic shop when I was working there, and
it's
I had
amazing.
to get it. Yeah, it's fucking great. I think that's some of his best work, honestly.
Yeah, wow,
that's from 1991. So yeah, there's some great shit. I remember that cover always caught my eye because I wanted to know what the hell was going on. These weird creatures on the cover.
Oh yeah, that's one thing. Pistasio's work holds up. Doesn't
it does?
Doesn't fade with time.
Yeah, I'd buy it no matter who wrote it.
Yes.
Jesus Christ.
Even Mark Waid.
Yeah, I don't care. Mark Waid wrote it. It's Pistachio. I like Pistachio.
It's like Kingdom Come. Who cares about Mark Waid? We only care about Alex Ross, man.
We like Pistachio.
We like Pistachio.
Oh man, it's my favorite ice cream.
Yeah, it's good. It's good stuff.
There's certain artists.
Heather Antos writing it.
Don't care. Like the artist.
There's certain artists that if they do it, it doesn't matter. There could be no type, like no script at all. Like Medina, Isley, any of those.
That's why artist editions sell like as well as like a lot of the comic books do. You know.
Yeah.
But what if they're just sitting around a table talking about their feelings?
I'm all for it, man.
I think Heather Antos has just never had a really, really good fuck, and that's her problem. She'd write a lot better if she just met a big old biker and he just nailed the crap out of her. It would change her whole perception. Yeah, I think she'd become a much better writer.
She was at Cleveland Fan Expo. I just missed out.
Yeah, I saw those pictures, and you know what's funny is because like she self-inserts herself in a lot of the comics that she does, and she always looks like they draw her like Gwenpool, you know, because I know she created that or like helped create that character or whatever. And like when I saw her, like
so original, much creative, much wow.
What's up, Adam Kember?
When I saw, like,
Creamer,
I was
what
expecting
Daredevils did
some
you
like
write?
cute, skinny, like white girl, like, and then I'm like, you're kind of frumpy. Like, I'm like, you don't look like your self-inserts at all. You know, it's like.
What would help Heather Antos be able to write a better book is if she actually read anything besides, you know, shitty young adult fiction. If she actually had any idea what good comics were, that would help her actually write something worth a damn. But she has absolutely no concept of it. Remember when she got a Shazam tattoo, thinking it was the Flash?
Yeah. Oh, I thought she got an SS tattoo.
No, it was the Shazam logo, and she thought it was the Flash. He's got his Flash tattoo, and everybody's like, "Yeah, no, that's the Shazam logo." And then she got all mad at everybody for calling it out. You're pretending to be something you're not. Stop it.
Yeah.
Can you imagine the tattoo artist? Yeah. Gotcha.
A buddy of mine like came up to me. He's like, "Dude, check out this killer tat that I fucking got."
He's like, "That's Captain Planet."
And it's got, you know, like a motorcycle engine with the eagle and everything. And it says Harley Davidson.
Give her a super pro tattoo.
And I'm like, Harley Davidson? I thought it was Harley Davidson.
Never got that.
I think they misspelled this, man. I think they forgot to put a D in there. And he's like,
there was a few times that I misspelled Harley Davidson while airbrushing like a $20,000 bike or something. After it was done and they cleared it and all that kind of shit, they were like, Haley Davidson.
Haley.
I mean, at least that's paint. You know, can you imagine like fucking something up like that on somebody's skin? Like that's pretty fucking permanent.
He was very upset that I pointed it out that like his tattoo is misspelled.
I bought a pair of I went to a swap meet and these Mexican guys were selling Nikes and I bought a pair of Nikes. Then I got home and I'm wearing them. My brother's like, "What the hell are Hikes?" And I looked out, I had an H instead of an N. They were like bootleg Nikes. I was like, nice. Come on, man. I was like, I got these Nikes
Temu.
$20.
You got some Temu Nikes?
What was that? What was that video of that kid a couple of years back who had the tattoo on his chest and said it was supposed to say "no regrets"?
No regrets.
No regrets.
No
That's
regrets.
From,
right?
the Millers.
There's one guy, he got the Fighting Irish, and they left out the T. So it's Fying Irish. Notre Dame mascot.
Oh
Nice.
boy. That's that's why it this is why an editor is important. I'm just saying.
That's right.
You know,
or don't get a tattoo.
A second set of eyes. The second set of eyes that actually, is paying attention and picks up on
that's
things.
why when you go into a tattoo shop and you're getting any type of type on your body, you have to sign a form. You have to write it out, sign a form, and that's what you want.
That you're agreeing to it. Yeah, bring spell check.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I did some. It's funny. Never anything quite as expensive as a bike that you described, Preston. But like I did some advertisement signs for that that high end homeware store Crate and Barrel, and I ended up putting Create and Barrel rather than Crate and Barrel. And they're like, we're not going to pay you for any of this. So I was like, wait, what? Why? And they're like, you didn't write the name of the store, like the correct name of the store. And I was just like, oh my god. It says Create and Barrel instead of Crate and Barrel.
When I worked
Cracker Barrel
in advertising, like there was plenty of times I fucking flyers and whole runs of T-shirts and shit like that.
Oh shit!
And, they. I mean, we're talking thousands of dollars. It's crazy.
Yeah, because once them T-shirts are printed and that ink is set, there is no fixing that shit.
Yeah,
you had somebody come in and write it for you.
They get shipped off to Africa or some shit like that.
Right. So where it doesn't matter, they get donated. Exactly.
Yeah.
At that point, it becomes a tax write-off. Yeah. I used to do a T-shirt design for a company in St. Augustine, and thankfully, I never had anything like that happen. Generally, we were able to find all the typos before we burned it to screen.
Yeah, well, usually, I mean, I told him, I was like, dude, I'm dyslexic as fuck, so you guys better have somebody to, approve this on the side. And so they did, but like sometimes, like they had stuff that actually went to 3 different checks and it still just slipped through.
Jeez, man. I mean, at that point, I mean, you warned them. At that point, it's not really your fault.
Well,
that's always your fault.
Marvel would never make a mistake on a cover, but I've seen misspellings on covers.
Yeah, but that's a no prize.
Heather Not very often, but it does slip through.
Arville O'Neill.
That was the Stanley's no prize.
Oh god, that Arville O'Neill was.
Oh yeah, the no prize for Stanley.
And that was right after Antos was made an editor over at IDW. So that was a good call on IDW's part.
To be fair, I mean, no one's perfect, even editors, and catching those kind of mistakes.
You mean
happen.
nobody's nerfed, right? That's what you meant to say.
Yeah, but the editor is supposed to be the last line of defense for misspellings, typos, inconsistencies. That's why a good editor is fucking crucial, because they are supposed to be the last person, Is my camera's aspect ratio off? I don't know. I'm using a different camera than I normally do. I'm up visiting Feline up in South Carolina, so I brought a camera with me.
No,
so it's a little closer to me.
Yeah, I think it's just the way the camera's set.
Yeah, it's a little more wide angle lens than my normal camera.
No, it is. I noticed that as soon as you went live, I'm like, does he have a new camera? Because it feels much warmer. Like it's like a.
Oh, I played around with the colors in OBS because I looked really washed out.
It looks the dynamic range is better. Like you look warmer.
You look dynamic.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I mean, and it's funny. Sometimes you don't notice it after just seeing a camera for a while, and then it's just like, and then you mess around with the color balance, and you're like, holy shit, yeah.
Yeah. I looked washed out earlier, and I was playing around with it on the happy hour hangout before we started that, so I was getting levels adjusted. So, yeah, but yeah, I'm up in South Carolina visiting my lady, and so I just brought my my other camera. This is the camera I normally have up above my drawing table, pointed down at my drawing desk.
Well, I think those ring lights that have become so popular really don't show up people's skin colors properly because I mean it's just basically like a white ring light, you know.
Yeah,
and
it's just a white light pointing at your face.
Well, I mean, who wants to stare directly into a ring light anyway?
Ring light all the
burn
time.
out your
And
retinas while
you
you're-
can tell people that have the ring lights, especially because you can see the actual even in their
circle?
eyes. Yeah, the circle.
That's all those people on those crime shows.
Yeah.
I know, and there's two Chinese people under a ring light. I can't tell them apart.
Oh
my god!
Jeez. Terrible. Disavow.
Oh,
Back for our G, everybody.
Yep. All ages book. The creators are not all ages, but
I mean,
the book
maybe
is.
the skin tones just all go into one blob. I can't tell. That's all I'm saying.
Oh my
I'm
God.
agreeing with you guys.
Disavowing spots. Disavow.
I'm
Just
just
print it
agreeing
on
with y'all.
newsprint, and they
Y'all.
won't notice the yellow.
Take it easy, Cranberry.
Oh, bye, Cranberry.
Whoop, they're falling
You
like
should swing it
flies
back.
over that.
No, but
Yeah.
the point,
You just,
I'm
thanks.
sure that's
There goes
what it was.
Cranberry.
going back to the mistakes in that Heather Antos, like just get the fucking cover right? Like, sure.
Well, again, that's what I'm saying. The
Don't know
editors
some
are supposed to be the last line of defense. I realize that people make mistakes, and that's, that happens. But the reason why you are hired as an editor is because you're good at catching those mistakes. You read things with a fine-tooth comb. You look at things, you're able to pick up on things. You don't just let shit slide. And the reason why people got pissed off at all of the Marvel editors is because the books had numerous typos, numerous inconsistencies, and the assistant editors and editors weren't doing their fucking job. The whole point of an editor is to catch that shit and to fix it and to make everything look professional.
Right.
It's the last line of defense. That's why people got pissed off.
That's
Who's
why the
that,
milkshake.
Punisher? The Punisher artist that proved that the editor wasn't doing his job by drawing 6 fingers on each one of the Punisher's hands.
But that's why the milkshake incident blew up, because we finally saw what they look like, and we're like, they're like in high school.
Yeah.
We said everybody saw that picture and was like, and we all realized they just hired a bunch of cute girls to run around the office.
Who've never been in a comic shop in their life.
Cute, questionable. I didn't see one like hot, like brown sugar mama in there.
Listen, I'm not saying like that they were cute for my taste either, but obviously you saw these girls, they were all like under the age of 23. Like they were like between the ages of 20 and 25 maybe.
Yeah, but these are all guys that work for a comic book company. They're not exactly the coolest guys on the block.
Right. So they just hired like the most decent looking thing that walked through the door.
They wanted work wives. They wanted women that they could interact with at work, and they didn't really care about their credentials whatsoever.
And that's what we said. And
that's the problem, because we had Weezy Simonson, who was a fucking fantastic writer in her own right. She was an amazing editor. She knew what the fuck she was doing. Ann Nocenti knew what the fuck she was doing because she actually knew how to write. She actually read quite widely. None of these people that were hired at Marvel during the milkshake incident knew how to fucking write a book. They didn't know a thing about writing a comic script. They didn't have any fucking credentials. They were hired in without the merit to actually do the fucking job, and that's why people got pissed off.
Yeah.
And she hated John Byrne. That's a new point.
Well,
who hated John Byrne?
Weezy Simonson.
Yeah, she did.
Vicente had a pretty good Daredevil run.
I mean, everybody hated John Byrne, but
John Byrne was kind of a grouchy prick.
Yeah.
Well, he also sold out every artist that he came in contact with.
He was a company man.
Jim Shooter too, but Jim Shooter got shit done.
Yeah, Jim Shooter. I've talked to him. He's a down to earth, individual.
Jim Shooter's a beast, dude. Like,
yeah,
really.
I got to jump off, guys.
I would hire Jim Shooter now.
All right,
go ahead.
Have a good night, man. Thanks for coming on, Anthony.
Later, Anthony.
You got it. I'll catch you on Thursday.
Yeah, I'll
Jay.
see you Thursday, man. When I crush Peter.
Yeah, I love it. I'll talk to you later.
I would hire Jim Shooter now to edit.
Yeah,
hell yeah.
He's been writing comic books since he was like 13 years old, like professionally writing comic books since he was 13.
He put out the first alternate cover too. It was,
he was good at filling in those word balloons.
That's what writers are for.
The only thing
I'm glad he made it still useful.
He had a fucked up view as far to like he wanted to take the dynamics out of comic art for some odd reason. I don't know why he wanted to do that. Like it's crazy.
Who did?
Jim Shooter. That's why Valiant books, if you look at them, he believed that all comic art should fit within the square. You know what I'm saying? And every one of like the first run of Valiant comics, the like Exo Manowar and all that kind of shit.
Right.
Like if you notice, the artwork is perfect. Like it's like there's no exaggerated perspectives or anything like that. Everything fits right into the square.
All writing should go in the bubble.
Yeah, it was crazy. It's a really
breathing directly
weird
into
way
their microphone.
Yeah, I mean, especially because it's like you can literally just draw anything that you want, and then to want something to be like, nope, I want it to be look like it's waist high, dolly shot, static camera. You're like,
yeah,
we can do anything that we want here, and you're just like, no, let's just do it, eye height, medium shot range,
let's not shake it up visually whatsoever. Let's just make it boring.
Bob Hall that drew Magnus Robot Fighter, and that book was so boring. There was like no dynamic angles and the whole.
Yeah, but that wasn't Bob. That was Jim. Jim Shooter made him.
See, there's that exact example I was thinking of, where it's like where you pair up like a good artist with then you get like either a writer or a editor that's conforming them to like work within a certain paradigm, where it's just like, fuck, man, this is not great.
No, I love Bob Hall's work. I got a couple of pieces of art by Bob. But
so I worked with a guy. He hired me and Donald DeLay to do a cover, and he micromanaged every little tiny piece of that cover. Like told Donald how he had to draw it, told me how I had to color it, and then I hated the color. Sent it to him, and then he put put 3D elements into our artwork that we didn't put in there. I mean, because he thought he knew better, and it was the worst. I even told him I told him, don't credit me for that cover. I don't want anyone to know that I even worked on it, because it was horrible. So like micromanaging just does not work with artistic people. It screws stuff up. So.
You remember that Bisley book? I think it was fucking 15 Bullets or something like that. I can't remember what it was. It was, but they took Bisley's artwork and then they had it digitally inked and colored.
Oh God!
Oh boy! No, don't remember that one.
Terrible.
It sounds horrible. I haven't even seen it. I was like, oh no.
And you're right. Micromanaging doesn't work. That's the reason why movies suck these days. Is because it's all done by committee. It's all micromanaged to hell and back. Nobody's allowed to be creative.
It wasn't Cecil.
committee by ineffective, incompetent people as well.
Well, I mean, if anybody's watched any of those Super Void Cinema videos that I've been talking about, you'd be able to tell that most movie producers are morons.
Yeah.
What a maroon.
No,
yeah,
they think they're creative and they're not. They're just simply not.
I recently watched those Hellboy animated movies.
Those are pretty good.
Oh, those are pretty good, yeah.
Yeah, Mike Mignola wrote them, and Guillermo del Toro did produce them. And Ron Perlman did voices, and they had people like John Hurt. I watched the Blood and Iron one, and then the Sword one. I had a Japanese.
It's everybody from the movie, from what I understand, like from the Hellboy like live action movies.
Yeah, the first set. Yeah, no, those were really fun.
Yeah, those are nice. I like those.
Blood and Iron, right? Was one of them.
Yeah, that's the vampire one.
Yeah, that one was cool.
No one wrote that. Yeah, really good, really good.
Yeah, I've never seen those. I'll have to check
they're
them
worth
out.
a watch.
Yeah, they're about an hour and 15 minutes a piece or so, hour and 20, and really good. I mean, if you, in some cases, maybe better than the live action. And again,
I think animation's way better than live. Well, it used to be anyway, because you do anything. Like there's no limit to what you can do with animation.
Yeah.
What's up, Art of Roy? He says, I think Shooter was catering all Valiant to Dave Lapham's artwork, and that Lapham was the house style. Yeah, Shooter, I know, was a big fan of Lapham's artwork. Absolutely loved his stuff. So you might be right, man. You might be right. I mean, but Neil Adams did the same thing with his company, Continuity Comics.
That was
everything looked like his work.
It was everything looked like him.
There was a big controversy about that because he was actually having artists that worked for his company do work that he was hired to do for DC Comics.
Shelby, I want to give you a heads up so you don't complain to me later. 11:30 is our cutoff time. We're ending at 11:30.
Cool. You have 3.5 hours then.
11:30 Eastern.
That's not what you leave it Arizona time.
No redos.
No redos.
No redos. How you doing? I couldn't hear you for a minute. My computer restarted. I guess I had some sort of a update. I don't know what it was.
Yeah, my laptop had to update today as well.
Did a writer come in?
Yeah, I literally had it open and hit join, and then my whole system just went down, and it was like, don't turn off power. I had to wait for it to go through the whole.
I did the same exact fucking thing, and I just did an update. I'm not lying.
Yeah.
The whole thing just shut down. I was like, what the fuck?
Microsoft trying to enforce that Copilot shit on everybody, probably.
Yeah, because I have everything set to. I have auto turned off on everything, even my Adobe products.
Yeah.
Yeah, so they bypassed it.
Search yourself.
Well, yeah, that's what they want to do. They want complete control of your system. That's why I don't want Windows 11 at all. Windows 11 can eat a bag of dicks.
I love Copilot. Because of Copilot, I stopped having to use internet search stuff more often. Just when I want to ask simple questions and shit like that, like when me and Jason are talking about something and I just need to know some random factoid. It's nice to have Copilot right there.
Mm-hmm. you go right ahead. Be dependent upon that AI.
Dude,
I got no desire.
I welcome our robot masters and
yes, bow to them.
Yeah, I mean,
yes.
Billy, when did you realize you're a Fed?
Right? When did you become a glowy?
I mean, so they're gonna need somebody to, change out their oil and whatnot, transistors, and I am here for it.
You feel you're qualified for that? Okay.
It could be like screamers where they use human eyeballs as lubrication.
Yeah, or like Brazil, It's they're gonna need that guy to come in and work on the tubes and stuff,
Awesome.
Billy's gonna be the robot fluffer.
Yeah. Oh hell yeah, dude!
Changing their spark plugs.
Yeah, I'll take the.
Does that mean I get to work in the robot sex shop? All right, I'm all in on that future right there.
Huh.
Jesus,
imagine that.
Dripping with lube. Dripping with
never
lube.
thought.
Todd McFarlane didn't say hi to you, Shelby. Oh,
Todd's just jealous.
No, never mind. Todd just said hi to you, Shelby.
You know what? It's too late.
We all love Shelby.
Shelby, we were just looking at
just about
some of your old work. What was it last night, Jason?
I showed him off just now.
But I mean,
I'll pull him up. Hold on.
We were looking at.
I just started. I don't have old work. I'm brand new.
Are you just now writing it, Shelby? Are you writing it?
Oh, are you putting those words in the balloon correctly?
We were trying to figure out if you had done the covers and stuff. We had to pull out a magnifying glass because I was convinced that you had done the covers too, but apparently you just did but you had done the interiors.
Billy, my puns are
koala.
Koala what?
Koala's in the rain.
My puns are tea.
What's he drinking? Yeah, koala
I didn't
tea.
miss it. I did not miss it, Angela.
Oh, koala. Jesus. Did your daughter pick that?
Yeah, of course she did, dude. It's gray. It's silly. It's clean.
Yeah. Yep, that was definitely a bad pun.
Your daughter has an eye for koala tea.
Oh, I see what you did there.
I see the dad jokes are strong with this one tonight.
Don't get me started.
Shelby, do you have any more of those Ragetality variants that your daughter did?
Maybe.
Shelby.
Yeah, that's my. I drew that when I was 16.
Yeah. You got to sign them for me.
I'll sign them.
You got to sign them for me.
Also,
they didn't believe me that you did them. Chap Yape did the covers though, right?
Chap did the covers.
That's what I thought.
That was my first. So you know what's weird though? That was the first stuff that I finished for Liefeld way back, and but my first published stuff with him was. I was talking about it on my stream earlier. Calvin Irving, who was doing the Chapel, he did the Chapel 2-issue miniseries and then ongoing series, right? So Calvin was having issues getting pages done in general. And
I opened the
so Rob, I was there like 2 weeks. And he goes, "Hey, I'm gonna give you a page rate to help Calvin out." And I was like, "Oh, cool!" Like I thought I was gonna be doing like brush inks. I'm like, "Oh, he draws like what do you call it? Like Jim Lee Deathblow style."
Oh, Jim Lee. Okay.
Nah, he was good. He was
I don't know. I don't know what word you're looking for. I was just trying to help you out.
And so, anyways, it wasn't for that. He was like, "No, I want you to do layouts," and I was like. Yeah, dude, for sure. And in my head, I'm like, Rob has never seen my layouts. My layouts are not good. So, anyways, I laid out the first 2 books of the ongoing for him, and he knocked him out. And they turn out like really nice. They're really good looking books. I should do an art for inspiration of them. They're actually pretty good art.
You should.
But that was my first published stuff there. I just don't talk about it because it's unaccredited. I got paid $90 a page for layouts, which was kind of crazy. It was
that's pretty good.
Yeah, I used back in the day. I used to use non-photo blue, but the kind that goes in like a click pencil. Like it was thick. It was like a lead holder pencil. Like
that's cool.
Yeah, I've never like that. No, like this size. Like they're like I don't know what you call it. Like they're huge.
Yeah. Oh yeah,
like 2 millimeters or whatever.
Yeah, 2 millimeter. Yep. I mean that's what I draw with now.
That's what I draw with now too.
Yeah, I use non-photo blue and a click pen.
The problem that I had was.
Hold on, you're right over there.
Sorry,
that's what I fill in word balloons.
Mechanical.
Yeah, this is Billy. This is just a lead holder, and then you get the leads that go to them later. You buy these separate.
Yeah, those come in. Then you got to get a lead pointer for them too. Yeah, nice little lead pointer.
Lead pointer.
Oh, the sharpener is this
little spinny finger.
Yeah,
that's what a gun is.
And it's too easy to break the fucking lead off in there when you use that thing.
Oh, you do.
Especially if you try to use the non-photo blue, it just breaks right off in there.
Yeah, the blue.
You got to be gentle with it, Ink.
The blue stuff, it's very waxy and it does not erase. That was the problem I had. So I started using the regular.
The new stuff does. Like the
does it?
Right, the older stuff didn't. Like it was fucking. It was crazy.
I have like 20 things of that old turquoise blue, and it's all garbage. I can't use it.
Yep, it is. It is not good. That's why I stopped using it.
Technology's come a little further.
I probably got about 30 leads of that left that I'll never touch. I don't want to throw them away because it's like I bought them, right? Like at some point,
yeah, exactly.
An unsuspecting up-and-comer, I'll be like, here, use these.
This is what you need. I'll sell it to you for just twice as much as I bought it.
Wait, you drew those when you were 16?
This is vintage.
Yeah, Shelby was a beast when he was younger.
Yeah. I was living with Frega. It was me, Frega, Pat Lee, Logan Libera, Dietrich Smith. We were all roomies. Giant stacks of like porno mags all over the freaking.
Oh my god, it's like heaven.
Yeah, it was.
Jesus, what?
Billy could smell it now.
Oh yeah.
You look in the corner.
I'm in heaven.
You look in a corner. It's like somebody's obviously been masturbating over there.
Fucking crusty socks everywhere. Jesus, it sounds fucking awful.
No, we always kept it in the bathroom.
Sticky cocks.
Yeah, Frege and I, we would actually we would rotate because Dan and I were actually sharing a bunk bed, and so we would rotate every couple months who got the top bunk. Yeah,
I'm on top this time.
It was fun, man. It was fun. Majority of the apartment though was like Frege's like crazy art collection he had back in the day. He used to have a bunch of Art Adams originals just sitting out all over that place.
That's fucking cool.
I think he sold when Extreme went under. I think he sold most of that stuff off, but he had a bunch of like like New Mutant annual pages and pages from that Spider-Man annual that Art drew and all that. Yeah.
Oh, nice.
Those. And he had some Joe Mad stuff too. He had some Joe Mad Uncanny X-Men pages.
Yeah,
remember that?
Didn't they get ruined
though? From the Spunk? No, we never used those.
Disavow this conversation, Jesus.
Anyways, good times. Yeah, I was 16. I was actually working illegally. He wasn't supposed to hire you in the state unless you were, I think, 18. And Pat Lee too. Pat Lee was working on an expired visa. He's Canadian. So we were all illegals, bro. We were all illegally working for
you, Shelby.
Is that where someone froze a fart in a bag? Yeah, we all froze our farts. We had a bet. I'm talking too loud. My daughter can hear me. Yeah, we had a bet. So we had a bet where, it was like a monetary bet. It was between. I'll just say it because I already said it on my stream before. So it was Dietrich Smith, who was in our apartment, our condo. So Dietrich Smith and Dan got into this real heated argument about freezing your farts. And Dan's like, you can absolutely freeze your fart. Oh and Dietrich's like, no, you can't, dude. That's bull crap. It'll seep out. It'll just turn into nothing, right? And so we're like, okay, deal. So he goes, all right. So it was me. Let me see. Me, Frege, Logan Lubera. I don't remember. I cannot confirm if Pat Lee farted in a few Ziplocs, but I know that we could not use our freezer for like 3 weeks because it was full of and
fucking comic frat house, man. Jesus.
Yeah.
The ice cream.
It's like crystallizing in the corner.
No, it
ice cream tastes like shit.
They actually got bigger. They got bigger. They became like a Nerf football, each one. And so we bring them all to work. Like 3 weeks later, dude, we bring them to work. And we're like, this is the day. And we didn't tell Dietrich. Dietrich had already moved out. He ended up moving in to be roommates with Murat Michaels. He left our apartment. So we bring him to work. We're like, all right, today's the day. And he's like, serious? He goes, you got that money? Because you're going to have to pay me. We're like, whatever, dude. So it was like, who was it? Like Kurt Hathaway was there, or Letter. It was me, Pat Lee, Frege. I think Lightfeld might have even came out for it. But anyways, all the bullpen was out. And we said, okay, here's the deal. You got to do one of them. You open it, you put your face in, and you inhale it, right? Like this is the rule. Because according to him, it doesn't work, right? I'm pretty positive he got one of Logan's. When Logan would fart in the apartment, dude, we had to open all the windows and doors had to be open to like let all the air through. Dude, it smelled like a dead cow, bro. It was the worst smelling like fart I've ever smelled in my life.
What do you eat?
Like kielbasa sauce.
Canadian, I don't know, whatever they eat. So he was Steve Platt's college roommate. But anyway, that's another story. So Dietrich does it. He puts it up, he breathes it in, and immediately vomits into his wastebasket. Like immediately, dude. Oh my God. And he started running around. He put his mouth under the water. It was like a National Lampoon movie, dude. It was crazy. We were dying.
It down like the fart, and like I said, you've like crystallized it into a solid practically.
So I'm just letting you know, you can 110%. your fart will actually extrapolate. It doesn't shrink. It gets bigger. You got to use the Ziploc with the seal, though. You can't do the ones where you like snap, snap, snap. You got to use the one where you capture
zipper. Yeah, with the zip.
You got to make sure your entire raisin is submerged in it too, because there's a few of them that were kind of weak. We did pop the rest outside, and they were bad. Matt Hawkins made us dispose of them. He said, "You guys can't open any more of those in here. I can almost taste it." So we had to go and throw them outside. Yeah.
Arizona will probably do that and sell them for $75.
Yeah, so we were on the 10th floor of the Disney Casting Center at the time. That's where we shared the same floor with Image Central. And dude, them hallways, man, you know, it smelled like ass, dude. Like it was bad. It was pretty bad.
There's another question.
We thought we were silly. We're opening them on the elevator, and then H&R Block headquarters people are getting on, and it just feels like we all just like we're dropping ass.
That's brutal.
And then Frege looks at you, and he's like, "Hey, you forgot to break it off and throw it, bro. I can still smell it." So he's like messing with us, and it's just terrible. This is bad news.
What about this question about Tim Townsend?
If anyone's a non-believer, I will bet you $50 right now that you can freeze a fart, and I will send it to you. I will send you multiple.
God, yeah, I don't think I need to be right. You know what? You can be right. You can just be right. I don't care.
Shelby found a new revenue source now.
That's right.
That's how I bought my first car.
Take those pecans and
autograph.
Any truth to this Tim Townsend question here, Shelby?
Tim making $800 a page for Inks at Extreme. I would say the book that he was on, probably for about 6 months, yes, but all of our rates dropped pretty significantly. Yeah, I used to make, I mean, I'm not gonna brag, I was making six figures until I was about 22, so I'll leave it at that. And I was not high paid. People like Pat Lee and them, Frege, yeah, they were doing like 400 something a page, like towards the end. So I mean, I'm pretty sure they were making good money. But I think a lot of them were bypassing, like some of them were getting really good like kickbacks, like bonuses. And so if you equate that in, they were technically making like $2K a page, like honestly, because of like the bonus. But if you don't equate that, yeah, I can see it.
Was the bonus
but
for
that's not common at all.
They would get it done, or like speed, or like did they have to get a certain amount of pages done? What was the bonus for? Like, what were the bonuses?
The bonus was for the sales of the book.
Oh, okay. For how it did. I got you.
Yeah. Like that Crypt book that Jason was showing. That's my best-selling book of all time. I'll never sell another book that many. That book sold 320,000 copies.
Nice.
I'll never have a book that sells that many. There's more copies of that number one than there is of my entire career combined. Yeah, it sucks, huh?
That was in the early Image days when they were selling like.
Yeah.
Because I remember Larson telling how he did it. He sold the first issue of Savage Dragon came in, and he got a check for like $800,000, and he just went and bought a house right off the bat with it. So
yeah,
that's what's up, awesome one.
Yeah, Eric Larson's thing is a little sad because he had years and years of collecting like off Marvel money. He was buying a bunch of Jack Kirby originals, and his original house burned down.
Oh, it burned! Yeah,
and that was kind of sad.
Heartbreaking story.
You know, everyone talks.
I mean, all of his original Savage Dragon pages were he had all of those pages from what I remember hearing, and they all got burned up too.
I wonder if it was insured.
A lot of it. Yeah,
I would hope so, man.
Well, you need special insurance for for original art and shit like that. Like,
yeah. I don't know. I never discussed it with them. I feel like it's a little too touchy. You know.
Yeah, I wouldn't want to talk to somebody about. Hey, do you have those insured, buddy? You know, I wouldn't.
Yeah.
It's right next to like asking. It's like, how come you hold that pencil like a gorilla?
And yeah, everybody talks about how, like, I was listening to Graybeards the other day, and even Aaron Lepresti was like, yeah, have you ever seen Eric Larson draw? It's like, did somebody break your hand?
Dude, I thought it was a joke, like when I first saw it, like on video.
So did Aaron.
I was like, what the fuck?
I thought he had a palsy or something like that. I thought he might have been paralyzed. I'm serious. I thought he was maybe he had a stroke or something and his hand didn't work right.
Had to relearn how to draw.
A weird way to draw. Like,
oh, dude, so crazy.
I think he
Well, they teach you to do draw like this in school, like to go and hold your pencil like.
Yeah, but
when you're sketching stuff out,
there he does it like day. Don't be a hater.
Yeah, he does it.
Yeah,
I think he does it to me like a life drawing class when you sketch it out real quick.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I mean, I can see holding a pencil like this, but not.
It doesn't
like...
help that he looks retarded while he's doing it too. So look at that thing. That's what he looks like.
Savage Dragon went off the rails. Like it started out good, and then he just I don't know what he did. He fucked that whole series up.
I really love the Ultimate Collection 1 and 2. I really love those. I stopped buying the book around issue like 22 or 27 or something like that, because he started getting weird. It's the one where he brought God into the mix and says, God drops the F-bomb and stuff in the book. I was like, dude, I can't read this no more, man. It's just
read it up to 50, but I had it in my pull box up to like 200 and something, I think. Like,
wow, you are
got a little...
Like he got all like an SJW-ish, I guess. But then I think he forgot about that cover he did, where it was like a porno cover where Savage Dragon was having like group sex on the cover, and it was like all these naked chicks and
that very I
don't even remember that cover.
That was some Japanese artist he hired for that. That cover's gross, dude.
It's fucked up, dude.
There's like 8 girls he's having, and there's like cum dripping everywhere. Yeah, it's gross, dude.
Yeah. It's fucking insane.
Apartment.
I fart in bags, and I'm telling you, it's gross. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's.
So wait,
it's
what number was that? Asking for a friend.
No, I only have
a friend whose name is Billy. Yeah, I got it.
I only have up to number 156. I lied. I have up to 156.
There's whole like internet stories about it. Just look up Savage Dragon X-rated variant. Yeah, I mean it'll come up.
I hated that
Billy's doing it right now.
He killed him off too, and then his son is the new Savage Dragon. And
I never cared for that.
And then he did the same kind of gross shit with the son and his girlfriend too.
Yeah.
Basically having the girlfriend get cum blasted off of Malcolm in
this is also
something.
A man that makes his villain like her menstrual blood is her power. Like
yes.
Oh yes, the villain heavy flow.
Heavy flow, yeah.
Yeah, big fat chick.
I can't believe that's even real. That's so crazy.
Yeah.
I mean, a lot of his villains were like that, though.
I
like
appreciate
shit guy and all kinds of different ones.
I appreciate the hell out of his Amazing Spider-Man run. I appreciate the hell out of his regular Spidey books. Those books with Deathlock were badass, dude.
The Deathlock ones.
And then I really appreciate the first 2 years of Dragon. I checked out after that, man. I checked out.
Yeah.
I was like, nah, I can't do this.
Well, the artwork kind of stopped being, those first 20 some odd issues. They looked fucking great.
Like, he tried really hard. That was his best stuff.
Yeah.
That was his.
And then just.
That's part of I was born and raised up there, man. That Bay Area can do that to you. Honestly, it's just.
Yeah.
That's why you gotta stay.
The quality of his books suffered.
Preaching to the choir. So.
Those collected issues Shelby's talking about are rad because it shows all of his roughs and all kinds of cool stuff in there. They're really awesome.
Yeah, they're good. No, and it's people always get weird when I talk about them. I'm like, dude, they're actually good, man. These are both.
He was really good. Yeah.
What's up, SDA?
There it is.
Yeah, that first. I brought these up before.
SDA?
Yeah, this. You got that?
I got the mini. I gotta buy that. Yeah, I gotta buy.
I only have that one.
Look at that cool line work, though.
It starts out with the what is it? Issue 0? No, it starts out with 1. Okay, so it does the mini series, and then I think issue 0, and then issue 0, and then back to the regular books. But this stuff's sick, dude. This stuff's sweet.
Yeah, look at that awesome line work.
Yeah, the double pagers in it are cool.
He was a beast, dude. It was amazing.
I'm skipping a ton of issues here, but Yeah, you get all the
Ninja Turtles.
Stuff.
Yeah,
I hated his work when he did.
I'm gonna tell you
what the fuck.
The thing that bugged me a bunch about this was the pinups are not in here. You remember there was Jay Lee pinups, Silvestri, you had Jim Lee, you had
and Jurgens
pinups. Yeah, none of that stuff is in here, man. He's got the covers, so you get to the back. Look, okay, so this book is pretty damn thick, right? This is all sketchbook. It's
that's so cool.
You get to one point and it's literally here. Let's get past. So, this was a poster. I had one buddy that had it. This is really hard to find. This poster right here.
Oh, I had that poster. I think
it was in the book.
Yeah, it was cool. It was cool.
And it shows all the iterations of Dragon and stuff. It was pretty cool.
So this is probably 60 pages. 60 pages of old school prelims and characters that he never even put out. So you got characters here of stuff. You got prelims. You got early, like marker sketch shit. You get.
The early Dragon had that little tiny fin on his head.
Yeah. You do get the backups though. So you get like the Adam Hughes and the still free stuff in it. And then this one here. This is.
I don't have that one. I got to get that one. I don't have that one.
Yeah. I'm going to get 3 and then I'm calling it a day. I'm not going to get any more after it because 3 I think has up through like issue 30 something. So this one here, what books does this have? I don't even know.
Oh, geez, Stippling.
That's
got
weird,
some good
dude.
stuff, man.
This is what's his name? Geffen. This is Geffen. Yeah.
Interesting.
But he got kind of weird about halfway through here. He brought that one that weird dead character with like all the like aborted babies still on the umbilicals. That one was weird. Yeah, it was kind of weird.
Swinging around.
I'm gonna skip a bunch of this. He's got the Jim Lee replacement issue.
I have a
Didn't he go back and redraw that issue?
Yeah, he did.
Yep.
I have it. Yeah, I have.
Yeah,
I have both of them.
Yeah,
I have the Jim Lee version.
The reason
you get Jim Lee to do an issue, and then you're like, nah, it's not good enough.
Well,
I think. Yeah, go ahead, Shelby.
Yeah, well, he wanted to have the most number of consecutive books drawn and written by one artist. Which
he wanted.
He's not wrong. When he hits 300, I personally, I think he actually has beaten Todd's record because Todd stopped drawing his book, and that's what he's. And I have to agree with him about that.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
Regardless if it's good or bad, I love this. This feels like a Jason Pearson.
Yeah, that's pretty cool right there.
That's
that
cool.
Looks like
a lot of people have said Cerebus took a huge dive after a while. So same thing with Savage Dragon. After a while, I think huge dive. It's just
I think Cerebus is a fraud only because he had a couple issues where they became basically just spoken word.
Oh yeah.
Spoken word, man.
The big stretches of prose. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't think that's a comic. I don't think they should be counted, but whatever. So you get past all this.
Stop it.
You're a hard man.
It's a pretty dope shot. You get let's see. You get the covers. This was a Ashcan cover right here. That was an Ashcan cover to that Wizard or Hero magazine did a 1/2 issue. That was a cover to that. You get I don't know, man. This stuff was cool.
That's cool. I like it. Yeah,
the old stuff was cool.
Sick, though.
Yeah, the old stuff was cool, and it just
back when he cared.
Being good. Yeah. That is true. It's back when he cared.
It was he hasn't been that good.
These are really cool. These are really cool layouts here. Like this is just layout like Sharpie marker crap. Like just
I don't know if you could do
look at the
like
dynamic foreshortening that he used to do too.
I don't know if you can stay on a series that long and not like get burned out on it. You know what I'm saying? Maybe it doesn't look like it, but
yeah.
I mean, your art might decline after a while, especially after getting older, and I can even see stories here and there taking a dive, but to have the series take as much of a hit as it did, it's pretty astounding.
Yeah. Oh, I know what this is. Okay, this was the edited pages he had to do. Yeah, these were edited. He had like some penis hanging out or something.
Ink, you have that issue. I think I probably have it too. I don't know, 100 or something, where there's like 500 pages that are of all just the same talking heads.
Oh yeah, where he's in the hospital, and so he just did the whole book is a stat image. Like
Yeah.
Like,
so I mean, that's not carrying anymore. Like when your entire book is a statted face, you're done carrying.
Like the whole comic is a one panel that's just statted with a fly that moves, and Savage Dragon's all bandaged up in the bed. That's the whole comic, just about. It's crazy.
This is getting not to be a cheerleader for Eric, because I dislike him greatly as a person. This is getting reprinted this year, just so you guys know. This is an original printing from like 4 or 5 years ago. It's the Spider-Man by Michelini and Larson, right?
Yeah.
So it has all of his amazing work, plus the Marvel Comics Presents books, right?
Yeah.
Plus his regular Spider-Man stuff, plus some stuff that he wrote later on. Like some of these are from the 2000s, which, I could do without, but whatever. So it's got all the Sinister Six stuff in it. This stuff is sick, dude. This is actually better than Dragon to me. The face he was trying to prove himself because he was on the coattails of Todd. Yeah. So he had to do good work.
Well, that's the problem. That's what made a lot of people not like his stuff, is because it was after Todd, and people were like, "What happened to Todd?" And so this stuff is really good.
Well, they tried to put Eric on the War issue too, and that was terrible.
You have to give him props for not trying to ape McFarlane too. Like, he just did his own thing. So.
He did some of the poses, but I think that he captured, like, his Beast was cool. I really like this issue a lot.
Beast. I remember that one.
It's just,
I have that one.
I like these weird faces. They feel very like Arthur Adams-ish kind of. Like, they're just fun. I'm skipping a ton of pages, by the way. But this is a big ass book.
And the Hulk, yeah.
And then this is some of the 2000 stuff where it's kind of goofy. I don't know.
There was a one shot that was put out called Spider-Man Big Time that Eric Larson wrote and drew, and it was okay.
Look, he drew himself. He kind of drew himself. It looks like what's his name from what's that comedy show? The dude always says his Letterkenny. He kind of looks like the Letterkenny dude right there. Yeah, so you get some covers in here. You get a bunch of sketches, a bunch of original stuff in the back. This book here is just as important to me as the McFarlane Spidey Omnibus. It's just cool, man. It's just fun to look at.
Yeah, his Spidey stuff.
Like I said, I appreciate that era, man. That era is the best for him.
Absolutely. I mean, I still have my copies of those issues. Like that issue of Spider-Man with Venom on the cover, and Spider-Man is like, got his hands up and he's like reflecting in Venom's eyes.
Oh, right.
That's a cool cover,
Yeah.
Or Venom holding the Spidey skull.
Yep.
Pretty iconic.
I've got that one.
Yeah. So, well, we're gonna get ready to wrap it up, Shelby.
Wait, what?
Wrap it up.
11:30.
We started.
Oh,
no, I told you when you got in, Shelby. 11:30. No, I said 11:30 Eastern.
He did announce it.
Did announce it. Not my fault. I gotta turn off speech chat. People are leaving too many emojis. All right, I'll tell you. We'll give you the last go around. How about that, Shelby? Will that be okay?
What does it say? What does it say when they leave an emoji? It
says hand pink wavy face, flat. It's just fart bag. Yeah, fart bag. Purple fart bag. Caucasian face, wavy fart bag. Like, it's just
ice cream, yum.
Yeah, no ice cream, yum.
Hairy nuts.
Yeah. It's a lot. So but we're closing down, so I turned off speech chats.
Buy my fart bag. I'm doing business. $75.
Look at this.
Yeah, I wish it was $75.
$75.
Well, that's cool. What is that?
It's a pay. So this whole thing is like.
Oh, is that your death blow thing?
Yeah. So this is the final page. But I got a few like Miller, like that's a Miller homage there.
Oh, that's
cool.
Miller. Yeah, nice.
I got some I think this is the only throwaway page I got in it. So I got these ninja dudes. And then I got this page is fun. I kinda like this one. It's different.
God, I love ninjas so much.
Billy, I love ninjas.
Who's vacuuming?
Ninjas.
Wow.
Who farted?
Hand tool.
Who farted?
Hey, Ryan.
Fart.
Who's emptying their colostomy bag?
Is Ryan Cardinal in here?
That was the Roomba.
He is.
Well, I turned off my speech chat, so I didn't hear Ryan Cardinal pop in.
All right, there you go.
All right, Shelby, you're wrapping up. You're starting. So,
wait. This is all from Ragetality that you're showing?
No. This is for a school project.
No, at the university I'm doing a thing for After Effects, and so I
wish Ragetality looked this good.
Oh.
It looks way better than like. Yeah, this is literally me trying to do Frank Miller style, and because of my detail, it looks like Deathblowy. I'm not looking at. I do love Deathblow. I'm not looking at Deathblow for this. This is all. I'll show my other pages. This guy.
Yeah, it looks like Deathblow.
Dude, this is cool,
Kinda.
man.
This is my favorite panel. Look, I gave him the little X's, like peanuts, like when Charlie Brown gets the football.
I like this is very good Deathblow homage stuff here.
Thanks, man. I appreciate all the Deathblow talk.
Can you add this to
Here we go.
Reality?
Is this Frank Miller enough?
That's Frank Miller enough.
Is that what you call
with a slight Deathblow influence?
Wait, can you add this to Ragetality?
No.
Oh.
Can you? Well, wait a minute. How many pages did you write here? How many pages did you write here?
There's 24.
24? You just make it a silent comic.
Supplement with our book. Yeah.
Do it.
Yeah, like this was a Die Hard comic.
Make it a silent comic.
No. I'll do a silent. I'll do a silent edition of it.
Yeah, I want one.
I'm not gonna tell anyone.
Henry wants to know who Frank Miller is.
I'm gonna put him on my website, and I'm not
Henry
gonna
knows
tell
who Frank
you.
Miller
And
is.
then it's just I'm gonna list it as sold out. I'm not gonna even let you.
You're the most cruel human I know.
I'm just waiting for it to fulfill.
All right, everybody, go to AmericanDiscord.com and buy some crap.
Don't be drama.
Crap.
Aren't you gonna let him show his papers?
Yeah, I have my paper somewhere. Where's my paper?
What, too soon?
Hurry up and show him because I'm going to go over to Preston. Hurry up.
I'm still illegal, by the way. Here, let's see. Let's see if this is.
You find your paper.
I got water drops.
Hurry up.
What do you think of this guy?
This is why it takes 45 minutes to wrap up. All right, Preston.
Check out Hell Night on Indiegogo. Sign up.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I signed up for it. Woohoo.
Yeah, I got to sign up for that.
Preston.
That logo.
Hey, can you leave some money for the rest of us, dude? That book looks like it's going to be crazy.
Wow.
Well, that's because
I got to feed my cat.
It started out as a joke. Like I just made a joke as a backup story in Doc Salem, and then it kept it's almost like he planted a seed and it just kept growing.
That's how it goes. That's how it goes.
Preston jokingly just
someone
took all the money.
The link. You know who's taking all of the money?
Nice Butch Cleaver shirt,
Rex.
by the way. Yes, you can find me under Devil Flyer. Was on with Murph and Dirk earlier. It was a lot of fun. Had Charlie's London on today. That was great.
Nice.
Cool. I have Andy Smith coming on later this week and
Andy Smith.
Peter Gilmore. So
Peter
check
Gilmore.
us out daily on the 4 o'clock shadow.
Oh, Peter Gilmore is going head to head with Jason.
He doesn't
Fund
stand
my
a chance.
comic, Devil Flyer. Check it out.
Rick Sox Green Jello.
Oh, I do have news though, Jason.
Oh, hold on. Wait, 1 second more. 1 second.
No problem. No problem.
1 second. Oh,
No,
I actually wait.
I don't mean to be rude, but I'm rude.
Somebody just left.
No, I was going to tell you. I got this isn't it. I was going to tell you. I got I'm guested to a show called Old Man Con.
Are you serious?
I swear to God, it's called Old Man Con. It's a comic vendor only, and then there's going to be a couple artists. It's a one-day show up in Scottsdale, Arizona. It's run by Mike Malvey, who used to run and own Atomic Comics, which used to be the largest Arizona comic shop
I've heard
before
of them.
tax issues.
Yeah, I remember them too.
Razorfist. Didn't Razorfist work there or something?
Yeah, he's local. He's local to me too. Anyways, he's guesting me, and he's also guesting Dan Fraga, and he's also guesting one more extreme alumni that I can't say. So I'm just
nice.
Wow.
Cool. What is this again? Where is this at? Where is this at?
Scottsdale, Arizona. I think it's on the 21st. So
There you
if
go.
you just look up Mike Malvey Old Man Con, it'll
Old Man Con,
it'll
everybody. Look for
come up.
Shelby, the old man. There you go.
Yeah, the old man.
All right, more.
Hey guys, check out the Mercenary Guild, themercenaryguild.com to get on the mailing list. Doesn't cost anything. You can also check out the trailer. Go to Luke's channel for that, Death Metal Hero. And I'm going to be, so my producer, or publisher rather, Brian and I are doing a channel on Wednesdays at shattermarecomics.com. And we have a show tomorrow night at 5:30 Pacific Standard Time. And I just sent the link out to TJ Laser and Frog Tony, and they'll probably be guests on the show. So, and we're going to talk about, indie comics and cons and what have you. So tomorrow night, 5:30, Shattermare Comics channel. And
check it out.
Thank you.
Yep. Ink spots.
Back Frog G.
There you go. Billy.
Go back Goblin Girl. We're going with Dan Plegel on Goblin Girl, coloring pages as like we were speaking. It's all coming along really good. Go follow me on Twitter. You can type in Ghost Monster or my name anywhere to find me on all the things.
There you go. Back Goblin Girl, everybody. Luke.
All right, you can find me at Death Metal Hero, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, all that fun stuff. I am doing the artwork for Mercenary Guild, and let me go ahead and switch my camera here. If you back, or if you sign up for the mailing list, which Flying Feline has conveniently put in the chat, you will get this exclusive Nicole the Elven Sorceress trading card. So go back the book, otherwise you won't be able to get this card. It's what they call exclusive. So go sign up now so you can get this card. Show will be on my channel next week, but please join me on my Better Half's channel at Flying Feline for the Happy Hour Hangout. We do all kinds of fun stuff, especially trivia. Actually did pretty good this week. You got 6 right, but
good for
you. It's challenging trivia. Yeah, it's a challenging trivia, and I don't always do great on it. But yeah, you guys should come check us out, 5 p.m., Flying Feline's channel for the Happy Hour Hangout. Then go hang out with the professionals at 7, and then at 9:15, come back over to my channel for TOPicLESS on Tuesday.
There you go. That's what I doodled. There you go.
It's a Venom.
Trying to herd cats. Everybody, go sign up for Curiosities, Oddities, Emporium, The Dress. That's Hocky. He's going to be launching in about just under 2 weeks. So make sure you're signed up. Link is in the description below as well as in the chat, I hope.
If anybody was a fan of the old show, Friday the 13th, the series, where it was like a weekly kind of paranormal mystery, that's kind of like what Curiosities and Oddities Emporium is. It's a really cool, it's
Twilight like Zone-ish in a way. Very, very cool stuff. You're gonna sign up for it. You're gonna want to back it and keep your eye out for it. Also, back Frog G, back Absolute One, Stormy Night, silent comic, no writing.
Till the next time we see you, we love you. May you get high, may you drop ass, and may you get laid and all that good shit.